We told you we'd be right back here at Vidane TV, and son of a gun, here we are at USA International Speedway here for the Petty iRacing Series race number 1 here for Tim's Corner Motorsports. I'm joined Rowdy Wesley Hogue. He's going to be joining us here shortly. He's got a couple of quick things he had to do after our little race there beforehand. But we're good to go here, getting ready to line them up for the first heat race of the afternoon. I'm up here in the booth with Dylan Langell. Dylan, great to see you here this afternoon. That's right, Dylan. We're good to go here. Good to see you this afternoon.
Yeah, very good, Paul. Very excited for this race. And if you are watching on Tim's Corner Motorsports or Vidane TV, welcome to the very first race of the Petty International Raceway eSports Series on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, at least here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, where I am. In fact, April 25th, known as the perfect date. That's for anyone who's watched Miss Congeniality. I know. Yeah, Paul, great to be with you again, and we're going to have Wes Rowdy Hogue as well on the call tonight, and we're excited for some short track racing. This is at the USA International Speedway, a track that's no longer around but still alive here on iRacing.
And that's the beauty of iRacing. Some of these legendary tracks, racetracks, different style cars, they get to stick around with the absolute beauty of technology. So it's very, very cool to see. Just want to give a quick shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, everybody watching on the Vidane Racing and Tim's Corner Facebook pages respectively. If you want to give us a shout out, let us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting for this afternoon. Always good to hear from the fans. And man, oh man, lights are off on the iRacing pace truck. Everybody's stacked up 2x2 all the way through. Pace truck's going to dip on down. We're going to get some green flag racing here this afternoon for the Tim's Corner Motorsports special event, the Petty iRacing Series.
That's right. Things are underway, and that is Matthew Barkhouse in the 15 Scotia Speed World 4-cylinder driver, chased down by Brad Eddy in that number 1. Some fans may recognize that paint scheme. That is actually his dad's paint scheme he used to rock back in the 90s, the Ford Quality Care number 1. Brad underneath trying to poke under Matthew Barkhouse. Qualifying just happened a few moments ago, and we'll give you the latest updates of who's moving on to the big show tonight. 100 laps here at USA International. 5 heat races in the top 5 from each heat move on to the big show. We'll have a 40-lap B-main coming up a little later as well. And then 100 laps here at USA International.
3 laps down, 9 laps to go here in the first heat race of the afternoon. That number 1, Brad Eddy, all over the back bumper, the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, putting on a show right now, looking at the top 5. Everybody's single file for now, kind of trying to fall into the tire tracks, figure out where the driver in front of them is stronger, where they're weaker, see if they can figure out what kind of real estate they're going to be shooting for here later on this afternoon.
Absolutely. That's a big thing. So USA International, it's similar to Petty. Same banking, about 14 degrees, but the straightaways are much longer. Petty, I've actually never been there. I was planning on going there in September. We'll see what happens with COVID-19. But the straightaways are much longer. This is a 3/4 of a mile track compared to Petty, which is just, of course, a quarter mile. So similar bank turns, but definitely a bigger track here for the boys racing this afternoon.
Most definitely, and everybody just kind of single file right now. Taking a look at third place, Evan Osborne, just kind of holding his own right now in that third position, trying to transfer on. As we said, we're taking 5 from each of the 5 heat races, giving us 25 drivers to transfer in that way, on top of qualifying and the B-main here coming up shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like maybe Dave Oblinas in the 5th position. So if that's right, that means Dave's going to move on to the big show here. So there he is in the 48. Made his iRacing debut on Tuesday night at Martinsville. And the way he's sitting right now, I know he's a favorite here in New Brunswick. So he's sitting pretty in that 5th position. That means he would move on to the big show. And the driver chasing down Dave is, if we can get on the camera, I'm watching the same feed as you are this afternoon here on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane Racing. Dave is chased down by, what car is that right there, Paul?
Excuse me, pardon me. Getting chased down right now by the 128, looking like Matt Odell is right behind him. So he's really trying to close in on that 5th position. A little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn number 2, but he gathers it right back up, and he's got his target set on that 5th position.
Yeah, Matt Odell's going to have to really throw the hammer down if he wants to catch up here. Now, with this being a series, we are going to be building up points, and there will be a champion. It's a 3-race series here to kind of pass the time here in the springtime before the season would begin. And a little entertainment on a Saturday afternoon as we are winding down the laps in this heat race. Matthew Barkhouse and Brad Eddy, your top two, starting to catch up to some slower cars here. And I don't know how much of a factor that'll be in a heat race here. So the slower car moves out of the way of your leader, Matthew Barkhouse. Matthew has won one of these special TCM events. I believe Brad is somewhat new to these events. I haven't really watched him race too much. He was racing in the street stock race last night, but here he is here at the Petty race, and Matthew Barkhouse still in front in that Kia number 15.
Doing a great job holding on to the point right now. 2 to go as they cross the line. That one car is there. Brad Eddy doing a great job being right all over the back bumper of the number 15, Matthew Barkhouse, coming across the line here. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks, as it were, waving in the air, letting everybody know there's 2 laps to go here at USA International Speedway.
Evan Osborne in third, Nicholas Noggle in fourth, Dave Oblina still holding down the Ford in fifth, Brad Eddy chasing him down. Will be coming down to 1 lap to go. Heat race number 1, 12 laps apiece, 5 heats coming up this afternoon, then a 40-lap B-main to get you in the show, or else you're going home and watching the rest of the race on Vidane TV or Tim's Corner Motorsports. Matthew Barkhouse has 2 turns left, led from the get-go, starting to pull away from Brad Eddy. And heat race number 1 is going to be going to Dartmouth's own Matthew Barkhouse as he comes around turn 3 and 4. Checkered flag in the air for the 15. Eddy second. Looks like Evan Osborne will land in third, and I believe it will still be Nicholas Noggle and Dave Oblinas rolling in 4th and 5th.
Absolutely great race. Matthew Barkhouse leading them from flag to flag, green to checkered. Great job by him. Nice clean race, no wrecks or anything like that. Kind of gives us an idea of what we're getting ourselves into this afternoon here for Tim's Corner Motorsports. And I'm actually going to make the proverbial tag out. Rowdy Wesley Hogue has joined us up here in the booth. I'm going to take my spot down in the dark dungeons of the production trailer and make sure all the buttons get pushed right. And Rowdy Wesley Hogue is going to be taking my spot here for the broadcast. So you boys have fun. Give me a shout if you need anything, any kind of instant replay or anything like that. And we'll continue on here at USA International Speedway.
Paul, why does the seat?
Sure.
Paul, why does the seat smell like cheese and a bad date? You need to get yourself back in the production booth, bud.
Listen. That's my leftover chicken and rice from last night.
Smells like some leftovers, all right, but we won't go there. All right, so I'm glad to be joining you guys. My name is Wes Rowdy Hogue. You know me here, Vidane TV, Vidane Racing, and whatever hell else shows up when you Google my name. We are here for heat number 2, and I believe, is this Dylan Langell that I'm next to?
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother?
Very, very good seeing you. As also we see the 3 of Brett Suggs and Ricky Abreu leading us down for Heat 2 in our front row if you want to run us through the rest of the field.
Yeah, I'll try my best here. I'm not seeing the actual graphics on the screen as I'm watching on the app Discord. But, Brett Suggs, the lone American racing here tonight from North Carolina down in Mooresville. They're lining up the 00, and that tonight is Ricky Abreu. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right, from New Brunswick, Arbo. So he'll be lining up in that Citgo 00 on the outside of row number 1.
And row 2 is going to be Chris Wanacott in the 91. The outside of him will be Michael Cormier in that 68, starting 4th. Starting 5th will be Sean Pearson, the 21. The 99 outside of him, and Greg Stewart. Kenny McKenzie in the 85. The 6 of Jason Gallant. 31 of Kevin Cormier. Chris Ewing. Kent Livingston in the 16. The 17. 72 of Todd Tufts will round out your field. As the iRacing pace truck heads down pit road, we wait to see the green flag, and it is out, and we are green flag racing, or Tim's Corner Motorsports at USA International Speedway.
And off the get-go, the 00 got a very good start. Arbo going around the number 3 of Suggs. Suggs holding that lower line again here. Heat race number 2 today for the Petty International Raceway eSports Series.
Oh, got one around behind them.
Oh, nearly, but he saves it almost. What a save by that turquoise car. Oh, not for long. Another car gets stuffed into turn 4.
And the 31 of Kevin Cormier goes around, hits the inside wall. They're wrecking behind him. Chris Ewing in the 12 is now around, parked it on the front stretch. No caution just yet. These leaders might have a rude awakening. If the 12 doesn't get going, he's still spinning on the front stretch. Man, oh man, he can't get that car going. The leaders are coming out of 4.
Yeah, Chris Ewing driving a special paint scheme honoring the late Scott Kelly, but having a tough go there. Yeah, Michael Cormier, and you can still see the 12 is having a handful, riding the wall, slamming into the wall. I think those tires are heated up, and he can't grab control.
Not what he wanted to see to start off with these heats, not what the leaders wanted to see out there windshield as well, but now it looks like the 12 has got its wits underneath them and got that car back going, and hopefully can get into a rhythm here and not go down a lap.
Yeah, I was just going to say, though, Michael Cormier, champion at Petty, came in like a wrecking ball there on lap number 1.
He just wrecked the 6. He just wrecked Jason Gallant coming out of 2. Jason Gallant in the 6 got a little loose, got a bump from the 68, sent him around. Michael Cormier says, Jason Gallant, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah, Gallant gets taken out big time by Cormier. We are still green flag racing. With these special TCM events, it tends to be single car incidents. Usually don't bring out the caution. It's when the field gets stacked up after a little incident. And there is the pass now by the 3 of Suggs to grab the... So currently, with a few laps remaining, the lone American here today taking the lead in heat race number 2.
Interested to see if Ricky can do anything to get back up to him, or if now this this clean air is all that Suggs is going to need here in this 12-lap event. And we have gone through halfway, and we are on lap 7, but they are single file throughout the field. That double O of Ricky Abreu isn't going anywhere, though.
Yeah, he's staying right on. Ricky is trying to keep track. In third, it's Chris Wanacott, so sitting in third as well. And remember, the top 5 from these heats move on to the big show, coming up a 100-lap feature here at USA International Speedway. So Sean Pierce and Greg Seward sitting in 4th and 5th. That is the nephew of the legendary maritime racer, Greg Seward, I should add as well. So another Seward racing tonight, and Sean Pierce sitting pretty in 4th.
It's actually Ricky Arbo. I've been calling him Abreu. I'm sorry about that, but that's
hey, we got her. We got her. A Ricky Arbo sitting good in 2nd right now, and we're learning pronunciation to go here, Rowdy.
If the name's not Jones, Johnson, or Smith, I need like a thesaurus that's telling me how to say things. But nonetheless, the battle for the lead is not over. Arbo stays right there in striking distance of Brett Suggs as we come around this time to 3 to go.
3 laps to go here at USA International. Again, the banking very similar to Petty, but longer straightaways. And for the drivers that are used to racing at Petty on a Saturday or possibly a Friday night show, it's a little longer going into the turns for sure. Arbo still hanging on in 2nd with Suggs from North Carolina still staying in 1st. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 to go.
2 to go, and Ricky is running a little slower lap time, 8.74 that time by Suggs and Arbo with a 9.13. So that's what Suggs wants to see. He wants to see that gap widen as he's able to do so. Hit your marks, and that will put you in victory lane here in Heat 2 as the white flag is out. 1 to go.
One more time around for Suggs, chased by Arbo. In 3rd, it's Chris Wanacott, Sean Pierce, and Greg Seward still holding their positions to move on to the 100-lap feature. Does Arbo have enough for the number 3? I think he's too far back. It looks like we're going to give heat race number 2 to the lone soldier from America today, and that is Brett Suggs.
Brett Suggs bringing home the win. Arbo 2nd, 3rd place Chris Wanacott, Sean Pearson 4th, and rounding out your top 5 will be Greg Stewart in the 99.
Solid run from both the 21 and the 99, and 2 heat races done, 3 more to go here this afternoon. Want to thank you all again for watching on Vidane TV. You guys got Twitch or YouTube running?
We got Vidane TV going on YouTube right now, as well as Twitch, Strictly 94, Rowdy 38 on Twitch. Make sure you give those a like. But if you are watching this on any platform, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, whatever it may be, hit that little like button, hit that subscribe button. We call about 7 to 8 different races per week, sometimes 4 in a day. We are here to give you, we are the needle and heroin in your arm and your vein is your fix for racing. We are here to get you high, ladies and gentlemen, on racing, nothing else, on racing.
Racing's legal. Racing's legal. We're all good here. And want to thank all the Maritimers and Atlantic Canadians and all Canadians watching this afternoon. I know we got a lot of New Brunswickers, Nova Scotians, Islanders, and also Newfoundlanders watching. And all 4 Atlantic provinces are represented here this afternoon, calling an afternoon race, which is a little different here. And of course, Suggs, the lone American, racing here tonight. And here's another loaded lineup for heat race number 3, Wes.
Starting pole will be Keith McClellan in the 30 in that Bud Light machine. Outside pole will be John Fitzpatrick in the 78. Starting third will be Cody Fink in the 47. And next to him will be the 90 of Craig Kenny, a well-known name here. Taylor Layton will be starting in the 19 ride. He'll be starting 5th. And next to him, and starting 6th, will be the 42 of Mark Williams. Going throughout the field, Ryan B. Crawford in the 92. And on the outside of him will be Campbell Delaney in the 9. Further back, you're going to have Dawson Noble in the 69. Donnie Bernard in that 46 white and purple machine. And that will lay out the field for us here for Heat 3.
Yeah, another star-studded lineup here, and really every heat race is this afternoon, and it's really cool because we have pro stock racers here tonight, sportsman drivers, legends drivers, street stock drivers, bandolero drivers, 4-cylinder drivers, all different walks of racing here this afternoon, racing for the first Petty International Raceway eSports Series race. Pace truck is in, green flag is out, Wes.
Single file into one between the top 2. Third place will go to Cody Fink here. And the 42 of Mark Williams sends it into 1 and 2. Luckily, he didn't hit anybody. It seems like he just had no brake pedal there the way he sent it in. That opened up the door for Campbell Delaney to take that position. But that 42, man, is driving hard, really hard right now. He's not a big fan of braking the way it looks. He's just kind of sending her in. But this lap kind of calming it down a little bit.
Yeah, he sent it, as you say, going into that turn and was kind of riding the wall here. As now we are single file for heat race number 3 this afternoon. There's, a little tap now from Williams into Noble, and they all get taken out, including the 19 as well.
That is not what you want to see. Caution flag has been thrown.
First caution this afternoon in the heat races. Campbell Delaney, got rammed by the 42 in turn 3, and we'll bring the replay up for you in just a moment to watch that. Like you were saying, Wes, I think that 42, the brakes aren't exactly working here.
Yeah, we're going to pull this up at the instant replay. Taking it slow motion. You can see the 9 car just doesn't get any help. He actually just loses it to 42. No contact there until right there is when you see it. He kind of T-bones him. Nowhere to go. The 19 gets collected as well. And, man, the 9 just rolls right down into the racing groove. I'm sure he looked left to make sure nobody was coming. Didn't hit anybody there, so definitely good show there. But tough break for these guys getting torn up in the heat race. So, unfortunately, these guys won't be able to make it into the top 5. They're going to have to try and qualify in later on here in the B-main.
That'll be a challenge for sure. 40 laps here at USA International as we're under our first caution this afternoon for any heat race. And 69 sending it right into the wall, and we're wrecking under caution here. So the 69 car of Dawson Noble having a little bit of trouble. Maybe the steering wheel came off or something like that.
Dylan, I'm not even going to lie to you. It looks like he was showing off. He hit the gas, just messing around under caution and lost control in front of the 9. And now he just gathered up the 9. And if I'm the 9 of Campbell Delaney, I'm pretty ticked off because now his car is all jacked up because of another driver messing around under caution.
Yeah, that's a tough go for sure. So now they'll all line up once again. If you are watching on Tim's Corner Motorsports or maybe on the Petty Raceway Facebook page, let us know where you're watching this afternoon. Are you watching from New Brunswick? Are you watching from Nova Scotia, PEI? Let us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting for. I know we've got a lot of Dave Oblinus fans tonight this afternoon watching, and Brad Eddy fans. And all these drivers have their groups of fans, groupies we'll call them. We've got Julie saying, let's go Donnie Bernard. So yeah, we've got some fans here cheering on their favorite drivers.
All right, guys. So, upcoming events. Go ahead and give it to him, Dylan.
I can't see them, unfortunately.
Me either. So, Paul, give us the upcoming events, brother.
Taking a look at them on your screen right now, I assume most of our viewers can read, but you're actually looking right now, the number 2 event right now, the TCM Petty Raceway Series, and then tomorrow, quadruple header, Carter's iRacing Series at noon, Hudson Speedway iRaces at 1, Tim's Corner Motorsports right back here, 6:45, and then at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, the East Coast Winter League SK Modifieds at Stafford Speedway. Going to be a great afternoon and full day of racing, as we've had a chock-full racing weekend here so far. Lights are off on the pace truck, boys. Let's get back to green flag racing.
That's right, and in fact, there's another special TCM event coming up tomorrow night here on Vidane Racing, 7:45 Atlantic. Another lap, I believe it's a 100-lapper at Myrtle Beach Speedway, super late model racing, and you're going to see some of the familiar faces you're actually watching right now this afternoon. There's the pace truck pulling in a few laps into this heat race. First caution is all done. Green flag is back in the air.
Battles for third position coming across the line, and that's not much of a battle now as Craig Kenny battles on the outside, but not going away is the 47 of Cody Fink. They're side by side off of two. The advantage going to Kenny on the outside. He's able to take it on the top shelf heading into 3.
Craig Kenny with a great run. Oh, maybe a couple of cars all getting tangled up.
Dylan, the 9 car goes around there. Dylan, not meaning to speak over you there, but he came off the corner, never had control of it, and just wrecked it on out.
Yeah, Campbell Delaney is having a heck of a time trying to handle that number. Don't believe a caution is out here at USA International, so we are still trucking here in this heat race number 3. There is the battle for the lead. The number 30 of Keith McLennan well out in front of that Bud Light number 30. Not much competition currently for that 30 as he is starting to pull away from John Fitzpatrick in the 78. Still single file racing here at USA International, handful of laps in. Does Fitzpatrick have enough to maybe push the envelope? Again, top 5 are moving on to the 100-lap race coming up a little later as Fitzpatrick starts to close in a little bit on the 30 of McLennan. Will he give him a little bit of a bumper to try and get that win? Again, if you win this race, you do get some bonus points, which again, we are tallying up the points after all these events. Someone's going to be getting some hardware.
All right, so just looking through the field here, some leagues have iRacing limits. So you have to be a certain. I guess your iRating has to be a certain number in order to make it in. And unfortunately, this league does not. So that might be an issue of what we're seeing a little bit. But coming out of 4, the 30 of Keith McClellan will be your winner. John Fitzpatrick second, Craig Kenny third, Cody Fink fourth, and then rounding out your top 5 will be Ryan Crawford. So good race there, but yeah, as I was trying to say there, as they were coming to the line, there's no I-rating limitation here. Anybody can join. You might see some guys with a 400 I-rating out here, and that might be why you see some of these guys struggling to keep control of their rides.
Yeah, it's going to be a learning curve for a few drivers. I mean, we've got a few like David Blinas, who's only been racing for not even a few days here at this point. So we've got some experienced iRacers, and we've got some who are rookies, even though they may have been racing a race car for longer than some of these kids have been alive.
You know, it's crazy, and that really makes me feel old because I see these kids at my local short tracks like New Smyrna Speedway that, you know, they've been racing for a while, and I think of back when I used to race, and I think that they weren't even born, and now I'm watching them out on racetracks, and I'm just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, how are you out here right now?
Checking out more shout-outs here on TCM's Facebook, including Brent Suggs Racing down in Mooresville, North Carolina, watching tonight. Glenn is watching from Burton, New Brunswick. We've also got some fans just down the road from where I am in Timberley. And Laura Lee says they wish they were able to be at their camper at Petty Raceway. Don't we all want to be camping at the racetrack soon? And hopefully we flatten the curve with COVID-19 here in the Maritimes and all across the world so we can get back to what we love, and that's being at a short track on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and that's what we are here. We're here to bring a little bit of racing into your life, see maybe some familiar names that you're used to seeing at your local short tracks. You might be able to see them out here. We're entertaining the masses, and we're trying to put on a good show not only to you local folks, but to people all over the country and all over the world that are fans of racing. You can find us here at Vidane TV, as well as the Perspective League's Facebook pages typically. So we're here to do that. We're here to make sure to bring some smiles, some laughs, some oohs and ahs, and hopefully we put on a good show for you each and every week that we broadcast, and these drivers are trying to do the same thing. So hit that little subscribe button. Watch some Tim's Corner Motorsports here at USA International Speedway with this Petty Series. 10-4.
10-4, good buddy. Pace truck going around another time here. So Mike Rhino will be the pole sitter for this heat race. Outside of him, Travis Roma in that number 38. In third, Richard Drake, who had a fantastic showing a couple nights ago at Martinsville. And I believe it's Owen Marr on the top side of row number 2.
Pace truck's about to hit down pit road. That is your top 4. Then you're going to have John Kane in the 35 and the 88 of Caden Tufts rounding out your top 6. And we are green. That inside line gets the jump a little bit further back. They get a little bobbled up. But Mike Rhino in the 34 fires off. Behind him, Travis Roma in the 38. And the battle for third heats up. The 141 of Richard Drake, and on the top shelf, Owen Mahar battling out in the 3.
Owen Marr goes around Richard Drake. Those are a couple of Scotia Speed World drivers. In fact, really all your top 4, for the exception of, I think, Mike Rhino. A note from Lawrencetown, so he's a Scotia driver as well. He is out in front. I'm learning things as we're going this afternoon here. Familiar faces and new drivers to all of us here. Rhino had a good showing at the Richmond race last Sunday. Unfortunately, got tangled up on a restart incident. So he's looking to have a good showing this afternoon for the very first Petty International Raceway eSports Series race. Want to thank Ellen and Wayne Smith again from Petty for putting this on and joining on the e-racing bandwagon. I mean, iRacing is the real deal right now. These are real drivers in their real simulators, doing real racing in the circumstances we currently have in the world.
That's a grateful thing that we have in this time, Dylan, is iRacing in the different forms of broadcasting out there to make sure everybody is happy and bring a little bit of normalcy into their life. Nonetheless, start off this race, Craig Tolley, for you Craig Tolley fans in that 5, he got really out of line, and now he's sitting 7th place, a bit further back from the 88 of Caden Tufts, who got a little loose a couple laps prior, come off before. He's starting 6th, but John Kane in that 35 in that final transfer spot in that 35 ride in 5th place so far.
He's hanging on to it, and he is getting close to Richard Drake as well. Matthew Janes, Brett McFarland, Terry Duguay also racing in this race. They're a bit further back, and the way it's going right now, they're most likely going to have to duke it out in that last chance race. Here's Rational Richard catching up to Owen Marr now for 3rd, although he's in that 5th position, so that means he would be locked into the show coming up a little later, 100 laps at USA International. And for the other drivers, they'll have to race for an extra 40. Thankfully, these iRacing cars don't get too much wear and tear if they have to race multiple times a night.
The battle for 3rd between Marr and the 141 Richard Drake has finally started to simmer down as Marr is able to put a little bit of a gap in between him and Drake. Single file throughout the field, though, but back up front, Mike Rhino with a sizable lead so far on Travis Roma, about a half second or more now, coming out of 4. Come on to lap.
John Kane is driving that 35, got a special paint scheme aimed at honoring the great Brad Mann as he dipsy-doodles his way through USA International Raceway to try and hold on to that 5th position, but he's got a fast Caden Tufts right on his rear. Caden, a younger driver, looking on the outside now of Kane with a few laps remaining here in this heat race.
Caden has his hands full as he's sideways coming off a 4, spins it hard into the inside wall, coming across victory circle here at USA International. He never truly had full control of that ride there. Man, oh man, oh man, that is it for Caden Tufts. He was battling his heart out for that position, just will fall short. He's going to have to put his hopes into that last chance qualifier.
Not the first time Caden has done that, unfortunately. Coming out of a turn, I think just a bit too much power on the gas pedal and getting squirrely and landing into the inside wall, so that's going to send him all the way to the back there. But that's a saving grace for Kane. He doesn't have to worry about a car on him for a little bit.
That breathing room means so much. You're able to just kind of take a breath and realize, all right, what's done is done. Let's just end this thing and focus on the next job.
So the top 5, Mike Rhino, Travis Roma, Owen Marr, and then Richard Drake in the 141, John Kane, the top 5. So as the way it's going now, those 5 drivers will advance to the big show coming up, and Mike Rhino will get some bonus points for winning this heat race. And Tim Terry, the great Tim Terry, laid out the points to me. We may have to bring him in here before the big show gets underway to explain the full rules here and the way the points will be handed out here at USA International. Winding things down here, Wes, with Mike Rhino still in the lead.
Mike Rhino set sail from lap 1 and never looked back, and that's what you want when you are a race car driver. If you can get out front like this and not have to look back, that's That's exactly what you want to see. And looks like he's got this one all sewed up here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming through 3 and 4, comes up on the lap car. The 14 sends him flying down pit road. Man, oh man, oh man! What a close one for the 88. I'm sorry, the 88 hit the 14. I was still watching the 88 of Caden Tufts. He wrecks the 14 going down into pit road to end that race. But yes, Mike able to bring home the win, but Caden Tufts could not get away from the drama.
No, having a rough go along with Dawson Noble in the 9. Those two drivers are just damaging their cars like crazy as we get ready now for heat race number 5, the last heat before the consolation race coming up.
Last chance to make the big show. You got 40 laps to get it done here in this feature. Starting in this is the guys that did not move on from the heat races. For those that aren't really familiar with that, you're going to have Nick Noggle up front of the 80. Next to him will be the 16 of Kent Livingston, the 46 of Donnie Bernard. Starting 4th will be the 5 of Craig Tolley. Starting 6th will be the 01 of Troy Burke. Starting 7th, the 68 of Michael Cormier. Starting, looks like lineups, some guys aren't lined up all the way yet. Mark Williams actually will be starting 7th. Some guys are waiting to grid, but going to see if possibly here we can get a better lineup, but we're just waiting for these guys to grid. But that's what we got so far on the track.
So it looks like we only did 4 heat races here. There was 54 paid entries before this got underway, so we may have come here just a little short, but either way, this will be the 40-lap consolation race, and the top 3 will move on to the big show coming up here this afternoon on Vidane TV, as well as Tim's Corner Motorsports, the inaugural race for the Petty International Raceway eSports series, and want to thank you all again for watching. Little Saturday afternoon short track race, and nothing better here.
Short track racing is where it is, and I see someone with their arm out looking for a tag in this consi, so I'm going to tag in Paul Strickland. He wants to get his voice heard here. Paul, you ready to tag on?
Yeah, let's do it. 40 laps on the board, getting ready for this B-main here. We're going to find out who's going to make the actual big show here this afternoon. The lights are off on that pace truck, and everybody's lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. Going to get some
showtime
racing. Yes, sir. Tim Terry, how are you?
Not too bad. Just a little bit of change in format. I'm sure you guys have touched on it, but want to touch on it again. We did not have a 5th heat race here today. We had 4 heat races instead of 5. So those 5 that were supposed to come through the heat race are going to come through the consi. So instead of taking 3 from this, we're taking 8. So we're giving these guys an opportunity that might not make the feature to get some laps in. Hope everybody's enjoying it on the Petty Raceway Facebook page. Vidane, Tim's Corner Motorsports. Drop us a comment. Let us know where you're tuned in from, who you're cheering for. And boys, it's 40 laps. Let's have some fun.
Thank you, Timmy. You're doing a great job in putting that on. So there we go, Wes and Paul. Things shaking up here in the latter stage. It's almost like a guest general manager on Monday Night Raw coming in and changing a little bit. So now the top 8 of this consolation race are moving on to the big show, and the green flag is out.
Oh, 8 Nicholas Noggle gets a huge jump. He's already got 7-8 car lengths between him and the second place car. That's the number 16 of Kent Livingston. That blue ride almost looks like a Macia's Landscaping blue. Shout out to Dave Macia Sr. watching the event here, Stafford Speedway street stock driver. And man, oh man, we got guys lined up single file. We got looks like 6 places around.
40 laps around USA International Speedway. Nick Noggle, great little racer here from the city for the Pro Stocks, and caution out now on the
caution on the track, and you saw it right away, right on lap number 2. Had a car send himself down on the inside lane, inside wall there. So we'll see if we can pull that up on the Vidane TV instant replay.
Kent Livingston, Donnie Bernard, some Donnie fans watching tonight. Craig Tully, Michael Cormier, Kenny McKenzie Jr., Mark Williams, and Wade Crenshaw in that last position. So sitting in that final slot there where that would move on to the big show tonight.
Going to take a look at this replay here in slow motion. You can see we're 3 wide heading on down in the corner. The 9 comes down on the, looks like the 93. 57 involved. 88 gets by just fine. 31 gets by fine. 57 gets tagged again by the number 19. 8 gets through okay. 72 looks like he gets through okay. But it appears the 93's got some damage, and 9 cars got big damage. 57 cars got big damage. So still early on. We got about 38 laps. Probably going to restart here with 35 to go here in the last chance Consi race. And like you heard Tim Terry say, the anonymous Raw general manager, if you will, coming in and letting us know that we're going to be taking the top 8 from this race rather than the top 3.
So a lot of damage there on the 57. That is Chris Evans, and the 9 as well. Campbell Delaney, tough go for them. I just want to correct myself. I said the 67 a little wrong. Wade Craswell from Truro. So Wade sitting in that 8th position, and want to thank Wade for participating this afternoon. I keep saying tonight because every other race we've done has been at like 8 o'clock Atlantic time. But here we are, 2 p.m., little Saturday short track racing. Want to thank you all again. And beautiful day, at least here in Nova Scotia. Went for a little walk earlier, got some of my steps in, and I was all fired up here for some short track racing. And with the iRacing, it's been a lot of fun being part of this, the special TCM events, and watching other racing as well. We've got the Saturday night race for the Cup and Xfinity and Truck and ARCA guys tonight at Talladega, the eSports Invitational for NASCAR tomorrow from Talladega, the return of Jeff Gordon, which is awesome. Pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, some of the drivers that we grew up watching are going to be back on the track tomorrow, which is super cool. And the cool thing about this here, for the Atlantic Canadian fans and even for the American fans watching all over the world and North America, we are seeing the local drivers we see on a Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. It's super cool seeing them all race here. And I've kind of said that this is almost like the IROC of iRacing for the Maritimes and Atlantic Canada, because we're seeing the top drivers from different series like the Bandos and Legends and Pro Stocks all coming together to race on this simulator.
You're exactly right, and it's one of those cool things that we've got here at Vidane TV. We've really been blessed. We've had a lot of really cool partners here. You're watching right now, one of them, Tim's Corner Motorsports, really hooking us up with some of Eastern Canada's best drivers. Sunday night we actually watched we broadcast rather the SK Modifies at Stafford Speedway. That's a bunch of local Northeastern drivers that run that series. And then this Thursday we're actually picking up the New England Pro Busch North Series. It's kind of a throwback NASCAR league. Everybody in there runs an old paint scheme, a throwback paint scheme, if you will. Those guys are going to be joining us this Thursday at 8 o'clock, so you don't want to miss that. Going to be a really cool show. And again, it's a series full of local short track racers. So Vidane TV, kind of the intermediate home here, as we got the green flag in the air. Nick Noggle, great start there in the 08, that black on black car. Looks like he's got some chrome numbers, gets a great start, shooting on down into turn number 1, getting out of turn number 2, already has about 10 car lengths between him and Donnie Bernard in second, caution out on the speedway.
Another wreck, and cars are still piling into each other there in turn 1 and 2. So again, this is a little slow roll here, and caution laps will count for this heat. In fact, our stream, Paul, is a little bit ahead of what the fans are watching on Facebook. So I'm actually watching that wreck again here on my phone. And we'll bring a replay up in just a moment to see who was taken out. Seeing lots of shout-outs and shout-outs of where the fans are watching from. I think every Atlantic Canadian province in Ontario and down in the States and Alberta. We've got fans all over Canada and the States watching this afternoon. So let's watch this replay and see what happened. I think the 85 of Kenny McKenzie Jr. may have been involved.
Most definitely. And we're going to bring it into you live here, a little bit slow motion. See the 42 on the outside, the 68, and looks like the 5 car already around.
Oh,
and
Craig
just tags
Tully.
the 85. Yeah, Tully tags the 85, sends him up into the wall. 88 gets a little bit of a love tap out of it. 67 gets a love tap. Big hit for the 59. He drives right on through.
The 59 of the 59 of Matt Janes.
Yeah, it's a tough break, and you can see the 85 kind of gets it pointed in the right direction. Heavy right side damage as he got pancaked up into the wall there. Tough break for the 85 there of Kenny McKenzie. Running back right now in the 20th position after getting wrecked there on early on in the first 10 laps or so here in the Consi race. So tough break. You're going to see if he can get it righted and try and make it up to the top 8, because as we heard Tim Terry come in and say, top 8 are getting transferred into the main feature.
I'm curious, can we see what happened to the 5 of Craig Tully? Because he was the car there that was turned around sideways.
Yeah, we'll back that up one more time here and find out exactly why the 5 car was around.
I think maybe a little contact with the 42. So the 42 is Mark Williams, I believe, making their semi-racing return today. So we'll bring it up here and watch exactly what happened with the 5.
Yeah, we'll give it to you in real time here, and you can see the 5 car just overdrives it. Yeah, he got loose, and then he got tagged by the 42 and finished off that spin.
67 as well. That was the 67 of Craswell. So they were sitting at 8th position. So things are already getting mixed up here in this consolation race. B-main, if you will. Again, General Manager Tim Terry rolling in here and changing things up a little bit. So the top 8 are moving on to the big show this afternoon. And if you're just joining us here, a 100-lap race from USA International coming up. 30 drivers on track for that feature. A little later, we've had Matthew Barkhouse, Brett Suggs, Keith McLennan, and Mike Rhino win the heats earlier, so they've already guaranteed their slots. And Paul, do we have the results from the qualifying? Who are the top 2 drivers?
Don't actually have that. We are still working on our new system for our points and standings, and as far as live timing and everything like that goes, that is in fact coming here to Vidane TV. We will have that for you shortly, but we don't have it this afternoon. We gotta get the old proverbial boot up the rear end of the producer, which would actually be me. So
come on, Paul.
But definitely one of the tools we're going to have here in the old proverbial tool bag at Vidane TV. Got a lot of neat things that we're working on. The lights are off on the pace truck, lining them up 2x2 all the way through. Going to get another restart. We're going to restart, looks like lap number 13, as you can see some of the lap cars going by the pace truck to try and get back onto the lead lap.
So we've got Noggle. We've got the number 46 of Donnie Bernard. I also see the 16 of Kent Livingston in 3rd. And Michael Cormier sitting in 4th. So we've got a few New Brunswick drivers sitting there in the top 4. And one of the Nova Scotians racing tonight here. And he puts the hammer down to restart this consolation race. Green flag is back out at USA International.
The 08 of Noggle has really figured out those restarts. He's able to really hit the loud pedal and get up on that outside line and hold on, and already has about 8-10 car lengths between him and second place, Donnie Bernard. Battle right now for second. Donnie Bernard has it. Ken Livingston wants it. Michael Cormier has a great seat here in the house to take a look, as he's already shooting on down low on the inside of the 16 of Kent Livingston, trying to get that position. Right behind them, the 42 is down low, trying to gain a position from that driver.
Kent Livingston from Prince Edward Island holding strong in 3rd, and there comes Caden Tufts as well. Where did they come from? Along with the 42 of Williams, we've got 4 cars all battling for that 3rd position. The good thing as well, that 3rd position is not the final transfer position. 8th is, so you want to keep your eye, fans watching this afternoon, on that 8th position. That is the final transfer spot this afternoon.
Taking a look right now, you can see there's a battle for 5th is about 73 cars wide. Great racing there for those positions, and like Tim Terry said, top 8 are going to transfer on this afternoon to the big show. Great racing here, and these guys know they want to hold on to that top 8 position, so they're trying to do their best to not be that last guy in line. See, you got a couple.
Oh, you
cars
got some cars
high.
turned up at the top of the track, in fact. So a couple of cars turned around, no caution quite yet. Again, the 67 of Craswell sitting in that 8th position. That's the driver we're keeping our eyes on for the final transfer spot, as they're getting a little bit of pressure here on the track, and some traffic also coming up in front of him.
Jump back up here with the leader, Nick Noggle. Just a quick little wellness check. Lap 17 down, going to cross the line here for lap 18. Looks like that 12 car is stopped on the front stretch for one reason or another. Not entirely sure what's going on there.
Yeah, Chris Ewing, I don't know if he's trying to bring out a caution, but he has been, looks like he's been given the boot there. So they had a special paint scheme dedicated to Scott Kelly, the old Parts of Trucks scheme, thrown off the track. And one thing to mention, there are incident caps here in iRacing. Basically, if you're a rough driver or you cut a corner, points accumulate on you, and the limit today is 25. So if you're a rough driver, those points will build up, and you will be given the boot by GM Tim Terry here this afternoon. And in fact, bonus points will be handed out to some drivers who keep it clean the entire time, as long as they complete 90% of the feature, coming up a little later. There is Nicholas Noggle working underneath Nevin Scott in that 81, so a couple of cars falling a lap down here. Nicholas Noggle is setting the pace here this afternoon in this consolation race.
Absolutely, and you can look all the way around all 4 corners of that car, nice and clean. So you're going to wonder if there's any kind of bonus for having a clean car throughout the Conti race. But doing a great job. He's got about a 2-second lead on the number 46. We'll check in on him, Donnie Bernard. He's looking really good. He's actually seems like he's running the Renner race car colors there, purple and white. Really good looking paint scheme right there. Those guys race down at Stafford Motor Speedway on Friday nights when we're not putting up with the COVID-19 nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of nonsense. We're having some fun watching all this craziness on the track here at USA International. For fans who may be unfamiliar with this track, unfortunately, this track does not exist anymore down in Florida. But thanks to iRacing, they're able to preserve tracks like this. And in fact, they're bringing back North Wilkesboro soon enough. And that would be really cool to see some of the Maritime guys trying out North Wilkesboro when it gets here on iRacing.
Most definitely, and the glorious thing about it is there's a lot of different cars, a lot of different trucks, a lot of different vehicles that you can try out in the iRacing simulator. So you may very well have cup cars, you may do street stocks, maybe you want to race some legends. It's all stuff you can actually do with iRacing. So very, very cool tool to have here, especially during these crazy times. And here at Vidane TV, we are more than thrilled to bring you all the action live, as our goal here at Vidane TV is to entertain the masses, and we're doing it live every single time we come out.
So Aiden Christensen is on the bubble spot. That is the Bandolero beginner champion at Petty, I believe. I think Tim was telling me that. So Aiden sitting in that final position, that's going to be the hot seat as we're on a decent green flag stretch here. And if you notice, fans, the track's starting to get a little darker. The track will change in real time. That means the track will heat up, the track will cool down. I know a few of the drivers during practice were kind of complaining the track was really hot, making the cars very loose. But that's the thing. It's a fixed setup here for these super late models. Everyone's pretty much given the same car here, and it's all about real driving ability on the track that will change, and of course tire fall off as well. And as we've seen with other events, we have seen cars run out, including Craig McDonald, who won last night in the street stock race, was this close to winning at Richmond last Sunday, but was 7 laps short with fuel.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Oh, you see the 46 cars?
Oh, no!
Running sixth, and looks like he's going to reset that car and shoot on down to pit road. Tough break for him. That's going to move. Taylor Layton right now in the 19 ride. That's going to move him into that bubble spot.
Things are changing quick. That was Donnie Bernard in the 46 going off the track, and now Caden Tufts and Michael Cormier rounding out your top 3. That's a shame for the 46 going off the track, but again, that's how quick things can change here with iRacing. There is the number 19 watching. That is Taylor Layton. They're in the 8th position, so that bubble spot, and a few cars falling a lap down here, Paul. So some cars are kind of lining up in the positions. I think they may finish there. There's Kenny McKenzie in the 85 throwing some pressure.
All over the back bumper of that bubble spot. The number 19 Taylor Layton has it. Kenny McKenzie wants it, and he definitely has some dents and some bangs there on the front bumper, so you got to wonder if he's going to try and use that on the back bumper of the 19 ride. See, 19 goes all the way up on the wall, opening the door for the 85, shoots it on down low, but you know what? Caution's going to come out on the speedway. Not going to get that pass or that position right off the rip just yet.
No, but that's going to be a fun battle to watch. Of course, Kenny McKenzie from Salisbury, New Brunswick, and the 19 of Taylor Layton here on this iRacing event. And we've got cars still crashing into each other, including Caden Tufts driving right through the 59. So that is the replay we're going to bring up here. I was just seeing it a bit before all the fans here, a little tease of what exactly happened. And it looks like the 6 and the 59 may have tangled up a bit in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the replay. We'll bring it to you in slow motion. You see the number six car's down low, 59's up high. 6 car kind of washes up the track just a little bit, and the 59 sees that door open up. The 6 comes back down, and they're just going for the same piece of real estate at the same time. And unfortunately, even with the game physics, you can't have 2 objects occupying the same space at the same time. And then you see the, I believe that's the 88 comes in, gets a good piece of it, sends the 59 all the way back around. Tough brake damage around all 4 corners of that. Well, now the left rear looks okay. Everything else kind of caved in on that machine, so tough brake.
Caden Tufts was coming in like a wrecking ball there. So that was the 6 of Jason Gallant and the 59 of taken out here. So Matt Janes, one of the only Newfoundland drivers here, along with Ryan Walsh from Conception Bay South, CBS Newfoundland. I know my good buddy Mike James is watching this afternoon. I think he's going to be joining us for some racing tomorrow night here on Tim's Corner Motorsports. And again, with Vidane TV, we're going to be having that race here. Myrtle Beach Raceway with the super late models. That's going to be a fun race as well, as we are finishing things out here. What lap are we on here, Paul?
Lap 30, we got 10 laps to go here at the line. Probably going to restart with 8 or 9 laps to go. As you can see, the lights are still on in that iRacing pace truck. Great racing so far this afternoon. Just want to take a quick pause here and look at our upcoming events here for Vidane TV. About an hour ago, you just saw the Carter's iRacing series at noon. They raced at Laguna Seca, put on a fantastic show. Right now, we're watching the Petty Raceway iRacing series put on by Tim's Corner Motorsports. And then tonight, we actually have the Vidane Racing season finale on Full Throttle TV. We're going to crown ourselves a champion and hand out that gorgeous, gorgeous Vidane Wrestling Championship belt. Very excited to hand that out this evening. Then tomorrow, quadruple header here at Vidane TV. Carter's iRacing Series kicks us off at noon. Hudson Speedway iRacers Group is going to be racing at 1 o'clock. Tim's Corner Motorsports, we're back, like you said, tomorrow night at 6:45. And then the East Coast Winter League at 9 o'clock. And all those times are Eastern Standard Time. But, man, great afternoon of racing so far. Winding down the laps here. It looks like we're going to cross the stripe with 8 to go here in the Consi, the 40-lap Consi. Taking the top 8, and right now that's going to be Nicholas Noggle. Caden Tufts is second. Evan Osborne, Michael Cormier, Mark Williams, Ken Livingston, Aiden Christensen, and Taylor Layton is going to be the top 8 as we run, but still a few laps to go, so we're going to see if those positions shake up.
Kenny McKenzie sitting in 9th. You know he wants to make the big show. In fact, kind of scrolling through some of the comments here, a lot of Kenny McKenzie Jr. fans watching tonight. So I know they would love to see him advance to the 100-lap race coming up here. And I wonder how aggressive Kenny will get here on this restart. As you can kind of see, Nicholas Noggle, I think he was hitting the pace truck. Hit the pace truck. Why would I do that?
Well, you hit everything else out on the track.
Yeah, giving a little, kind of pulling the old Dale Earnhardt there and kind of having some fun with the virtual pace truck here as we are about to double up here. Nicholas Noggle has led practically every lap here for this consolation race. So unless something terrible happens to the driver, I think it's pretty much a lock that they're going to be moving on to the 100-lap race coming up here. Caden Tufts on the outside had a tough go in the heat race a little earlier, which would have sent them right away to the 100-lap race. So they need a really good restart again, but it's leader's discretion as the paint lights are off the pace truck. The iRacing pace truck will pull in here. 8 laps remaining at USA International. Great start by Nicholas Noggle. We are green flag racing.
That's a driver who's really figured out the restarts here at USA International Speedway. iRacing rules, you don't necessarily, after the initial start, you don't necessarily have to wait for the flag man. As soon as that pace truck hits pit road, you're able to take off, and that he did. But it looks like he brought the 88 of Caden Tufts with him right all over the back bumper as they're heading down into turn number 4. Coming out of turn number 4, crossing the stripe, 5 laps to go. 42 way down low in the grass, hits the inside wall. Looks like he's able to gather it back up and get back, but man, hard hit. Still running in the top 5 at this point. He's got to limp that car around for 5 or 6 more laps to see if he can hold on to a top 8 transfer spot.
Wow, Kenny McKenzie is sitting in that transfer spot. Oh, a little bit of a bump there from the 42 of Williams. So a little rough racing here at USA International. Cars turn around also in turn 4. No caution on the track. Nicholas Noggle is still the leader. Mark Williams, he is a bulldozer coming up through the field.
Taking a look again at the 42, he's able to hold on to the 7th position, and that's really all he needs to do. Number 85 right now is going to go to Kenny McKenzie for 3 laps to go. Check that, 3 laps to go at the stripe. Doesn't look like there's going to be much pressure behind the 85 for Kenny McKenzie as he's going to hold on to that transfer position. Hopefully, with 3 laps to go here, back up front, we've still got Nicholas Noggle in the 08 putting on a commanding lead. He's really able to stretch his legs out a little bit. Has about 3/4 of a second over second place Caden Tufts.
2 laps remaining here for the consolation race at USA International, the very first Petty International Raceway eSports Series race with Nicholas Noggle leading the pack here for this consolation race. Kenny McKenzie in 8th, so if he's able to hold that in front of Chris Evans, he's going to be joining Nicholas Noggle and the other drivers in the big show tonight.
Caution out on the speedway. That's going to set us up for the very first green-white checkered of the afternoon. And I believe if we're running the same rules package as last night, we have 5 attempts at a green-white checkered.
To quote the great Eli Gold, legendary Alabama Crimson Tide announcer and NASCAR announcer, oh my, things have changed here. Late race caution. Nicholas Noggle did not want to see that. Caden Tufts, I'm sure, would love another chance at a restart. And another driver probably dreading another chance here for other drivers. Kenny McKenzie sitting in that final transfer spot with Brett McFarlane and Kevin Cormier right on his rear.
Going in the other direction, too, Mark Williams in that 42. We saw him pancake the inside pit road wall as he was running 4th. Man, oh man, and he just a lot of heavy damage, and all he wanted to do was limp that car around and try and hold on to see if he can get a finish out of it. And we're actually taking a look at the timing and scoring. It appears The 42 is going to drop a few positions, but you can take a look at that race car caved in all the way around, and looks like he may very well be getting an EOL penalty and a longest line penalty from Tim Terry. Not entirely sure there, but man, oh man, a quick opportunity to catch a breath, get a quick drink of water or whatever ice-cold, refreshing adult beverage you may or may not be drinking this afternoon. Fantastic racing here for Tim's Corner Motorsports. The inaugural Petty Raceway iRacing series. Going to be running a three-race series here. We're going to be handing out some points, some prizes, and some cool things along the way here. But lights are still on in the pace truck, giving these drivers just an opportunity, a few moments of calm before the storm to kind of get a grip on that steering wheel, get everything tightened back up, get your head on straight, and really focus, hit that loud pedal, and see what you can finish up with here in the Consi race.
Just want to give a shout out to Jordan Vino. He just sent me a photo of his iRacing rig. He's not racing here. He, of course, is a sportsman driver at Petty and Scotia Speed World. He says he's watching the race, enjoying it, and he cannot wait to be part of the next one. So watch out. We've got a champion coming up through these special TCM events in Jordan Vino. And his rig there, he's got the 3 monitors. The photo he sent me. So that's very cool that we're seeing more and more drivers getting iRacing as, you know, it's... well, we're not sure when exactly the real race cars are going to be hitting the track. Jordan says, I bet your opinion will change when you see how much I suck. Well, you know, you got all week to practice and racing the different races.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. If anybody out there watching wants to get in on the action, check out timscorner.ca/iRacing. Tim does a great job keeping up with his own website for Tim's Corner Motorsports, and he puts these events on just about every single night of the week. And a lot of them you can catch here on Vidane TV. Some of them you can check out over on Web Racing Network. Check them out, just WRN on Facebook. And be sure to check out our Facebook page as well, Vidane Racing, facebook.com/Vidane Racing. Going to be doing a little bit of rebranding this weekend as we're wrapping up our championship season. We've got a final race here tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be running the Cup cars at Daytona for a 250-miler, and that's going to be the Rent a Race Car 250. And the 3-man battle for the points lead is going to go to, the driver that wins the championship, and they're going to take home a very, very cool-looking wrestling-style championship belt. But the lights are off. Green-white checkered attempt here. Lined up 2x2, 08 on the inside, 8-8 on the inside, 8 behind them, and restarting in the second row there on the inside.
Yeah, they're giving no room to that pace truck. Noggle and Tufts are ready to pounce and throw the hammer down here for this green-white checkered. One green flag lap, then the white flag, then the checkered flag for the consolation race this afternoon. We're back racing here again at USA International. Nicholas Noggle in the 08 gets a great start. Cars are starting to stack up a little bit in the back. Will that bring out a caution? Again, as soon as, we got cars piling up. I see Cormier turned around. If the caution has not come out right before here, that means we'll have to do it over again, and it looks like we are going to have to do another attempt here for the green-white checker.
Well, this is going to be one of those things that's going to be a little bit tricky because you can see the caution did come out. They didn't cross the line to take the white flag, but there's less than 10 seconds to go in this particular session, so we may very well end this Consi race under caution.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of see what GM Tim Terry does here, as things are timed out, as we can't spend all afternoon playing and watching iRacing.
As much as we'd like to.
Well, you know, hey, maybe you want to have your Zoom drinking sessions with your friends tonight. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're going to see what's happening here. So the cars are still on the track. I'm wondering if they'll give them one more chance. And then if that doesn't work out, I think maybe we'll end it that way. Don't want to see a race end prematurely because of time constraints, but that's the way it's got to be because we got a 100-lap main event coming up here in just a little bit.
Most definitely. We're going to be bringing you all the action. Taking a look right now, there's only 11 cars that are in this race still, 10 of which are on the lead lap. And right now, the 8th position is going to go to Michael Cormier in the 68, Nevin Scott in the 81, and Mark Williams in the 42. They're still in this race. They're still in the last lap. Look like we still have 2 laps on the board, so we may very well be able to get one more final attempt at the green-white checkered.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Tim, again, I'm calling him the GM here. It's kind of funny that way. He's also got Tony Stevens helping him out as well, so shout out to Tony for helping out. But I think what they did was maybe take away some of the cars that were a few laps down, which I kind of threw out there after our Martinsville race. We had some of the cars that had a lot of damage, bringing out some of the cautions there. So just the kind of way to clean up the racing here and leaving us with, a handful of cars, but 10 on the lead lap. So that means that battle for that 8th position with Mark Williams currently sitting there, Michael Cormier and Kent Livingston in 9th and 10th. They are going to be really hungry to get that last transfer spot.
A lot of damaged cars back there, too. You see the 42 is caved in. The 81's caved in up in the front of his car. But it looks like we're lining these guys back up. Let's see what we can get. It looks like there's going to be 11 cars here on 10 cars on the lead lap. Kevin Cormier is still sitting on pit road getting that car worked on. May rejoin the tail end of the field, may very well not. Jump back up on the leader, take a look and see what we got going on here. See his car is still clean all the way around.
Yep.
No damage all the way around. You can see there's still a lap car in front of him that has not taken the wave by just yet. So that may give us
his car's looking real nice there, Paul. And one thing that I asked you a couple weeks ago, because I was sort of new to the iRacing, about the repairs, and I know with the NASCAR guys, they have the instant fixes. They have like 1 or 2 per race. Here, we don't have that. If your car gets damaged, you've got to go in the pits and fix it. And it takes real time to fix any problems you have on your machine.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, we've noticed with some of the smaller division cars, it takes a long time to fuel the cars, too. But with 40 laps here at USA, don't usually have to fuel any of the race cars. But it looks like the lights are off on that pace truck. We're lining them up 2 by 2. The 31 appears to be dropping to the back of the pack. Possibly. Nope, he's going to drive around the pace truck and rejoin the tail end of the longest line. So that's what that's all about. Lights are off on the pace truck, lined up 2 by 2. We've got 10 guys going for 8 spots. This is going to be exciting.
Attempt number 2 at the green-white checkered. Nicholas Noggle has been the class of the field so far. Pace truck pulls in. Another chance here for the green-white checker. 1 green flag lap, 1 white flag. Here's the green flag. Here we are racing it here at USA International, and you want to keep your eye on the battle for 8th position. Mark Williams had that position at the restart. Nicholas Noggle, he's in a different time zone. He pulls away far from the 88 of Caden Tufts. Coming around one more time here at USA International. White flag about to come out for Nicholas Noggle. Currently in that 8th position. We're going to bring it up on your scoring monitor here, fans, to see who is in that position. And from my vantage point, looks like, we got cars all over the track now. Will that end the race?
No caution yet. Those were a couple of drivers that I believe were actually in the top 8. Got to wait for the timing and scoring to get updated as we cross the line. White flags in the air. You can see it actually finishes up. And, man, oh, man, we weren't able to bring the final rundown there for the Consi race. But we got 30 guys that are qualified for this race. And I'm actually going to make the quick little hot tag here. We're going to do... Actually, we're going to do a warm-up. We got a few minutes here to kind of get these drivers warmed up and get their heads on straight and figure out their last-minute adjustments. While they do that, we're going to pause for just a moment and take a quick look at our Canadian National Anthem.
Okay, folks, we're getting ready for the National Anthem here. If you're able to, would you please rise for singing of O Canada?
O Canada, our home and native land.
True patriot love in all of us command. Quand on se porte l'épée, il se porte la croix.
From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land. Glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drivers, start your engines.
Drivers, start your engines indeed. Got about less than a minute left in this warm-up, and no surprise, number 75, Mike Alexander, on top of the board right now with a quick lap, and going to be putting on a clinic here at the USA International Speedway. I'm going to make the hat tag out. Rowdy Wesley Hogue has rejoined the broadcast booth. I'm going to jump back down in that production trailer. Let's wrap up these 100 laps here and give the fans what they want to see, some green flag racing.
For sure, it's going to be a fun afternoon with this little warm-up. I'm Dylan Lanchel from Riverside International Speedway and Valley Raceway here in Nova Scotia. It's a pleasure being here for the very first Petty International Raceway eSports Series. And as you saw on the screen there for a moment, Mike Alexander, Danny Chisholm, the top 2 drivers in qualifying, they automatically made the 100-lap race. And again, we are going to have a really fun afternoon here with a little quick warm-up as the cars are going to kind of, work their issues, if they're a little tight, a little loose, and we'll get things rolling here with the full-on go. And Paul, I don't know if Wes is actually here. I think maybe he's checked out to a different time zone.
We'll give him just a few more moments to get his tail back up here, but we're going to go through the running order as we can. We can see it, like you made mention, the top 2, Mike Alexander, Danny Chisholm, going to be starting in the first 2 positions right there on the front row as we wait for those drivers to jump into their race car. Matthew Barkhouse is going to start 3rd. Brett Suggs, saw him. He was really strong in his heat race earlier on. He's going to be starting, those drivers are going to start in row number 2. 5th place, Keith McLefton, followed by Mike Rhino in the number 34 machine. He's going to start 6th. Brad Eddy starting 7th with Ricky Arbu in the 00. He's going to start 8th. Taking a look, John Fitzpatrick there in the 78 machine. He is going to start in the 9th position. Next to him is going to be Travis Roma in the number 38. Behind him is going to be Dave O'Blenis and Chris Wanacott in the number 91. And then we're going to look at Craig Kenny and Owen Maher in the 66. He's going to be starting 14th. Matt Odell in the 128. He's going to start 15th. Next to him is going to be Sean Pierce, followed by Cody Fink, Richard Drake, Brady Creamer in the number 10 machine. As we're looking at the number 99, he's going to start 20th. Greg Stewart, Ryan Crawford, John Kane, Nicholas Noggle, saw him strong in the Consi. 23rd starting spot for him. Carden Tufts is going to start 24th, followed by Evan Osborne, Kenny McKenzie, Aiden Christensen, Mark Williams, Brett McFarlane, and Kent Livingston. 30 drivers getting ready to start this race. Going through the starting lineup, I think I only screwed up like 2 of the names, so we're definitely getting pretty good here.
Not bad there, Paul. Some Maritime and Atlantic Canadian in here, but it's all good. Yes, you are seeing some of the top drivers at Petty Raceway, some drivers who have raced at Petty before also here this afternoon. And again, it's a mixture of pro stock racers, sportsman racers, legends drivers, street stock drivers, bandoleros, 4-cylinders. It's an all-star event here. And again, this is really fun to see all these drivers all lined up here. Mike Alexander finished 2nd 3 times in a row before his first win in these special TCM events. We've also seen the 87 and the 15 of Danny Chisholm and Matthew Barkhouse go into victory lane as well. One thing to note, the 75-15, Mike Alexander, Matthew Barkhouse, they're brothers, and they're essentially teammates here as well. So I don't know if how much team play is going to become a little factor here. We saw the 75 and 15 duke it out for one of the TCM events we had a few weeks ago. They didn't play roughhouse too much, so I don't expect we'll see that again here. 30 drivers on track here at USA International 100 laps. The first race for the Petty International Raceway eSports Series is underway. And I believe, I was just going to say, I believe we have Wes Rowdy Hogue back in here. What you going on there, buddy?
Tag in, Wes, tag in.
Yeah, I had to walk my big self up these damn stairs and had to catch my breath, and I am here for the beginning of this amazing 100-lapper as we see Mike Alexander, who I think he won last week, didn't he? Or at least he put on a good show out here leading up front.
No, you're absolutely right. Mike got the big W after heartbreak 3 times in a row, finishing 2nd. Not that there's anything wrong with finishing 2nd, but with these iRacing, it's competitive, along with Danny Chisholm and Matthew Barkhouse. But one driver I think we're going to have to watch out for working their way through the field. We just saw them win.
Caution is out, guys. I'm not exactly sure where it happened. It had something to do with, looks like the 44 of Aiden Christensen. See if we can get Paul to get that back up. Yeah, it looks like it actually starts in front of the 44 of Aiden Christensen, possibly the 92 of Ryan Crawford coming through 1 and 2 that time. He may have got a little help by somebody as Paul is starting to get the footage there for us, but the caution's out to start off this race. Just a couple laps in, lap 2, involving the looks like the 80 and the 08 and the 92 to start that one off. Paul, you got us something?
Yeah, pulling up the replay right now, and we were exactly right. It looks like the 08's involved. It had a little bit of a help there. We'll take a quick look at it. Slow motion here on the Vidane TV instant replay. The 08 didn't have any help. He gave some help. He gave some help to the 92, sent him on around, and the 88 was there. Back bumper into him. The 28 gets involved. The 8 gets involved. Kind of caved those cars in. 38, a little bit of a kiss. Doesn't quite hit him. Same with the 42. No damage there, but tough break for those guys to get tore up there on lap number 2. If we even made it that far. Oh, you see the 88, the 85 around, the 25 around as well. I believe that's a 24 that's around. A lot of tore up race cars here early on. Hopefully they can get them fixed, but if not, you know what? There's always tomorrow.
Paul, big chain reaction there, and you'll get that at short track racing. When they're wrecking in front of you, it's hard to pull up and to break in time. But nonetheless, Ryan Crawford and Nick Noggle both getting the end of longest line penalty after the incident on turn 2, lap 1, or turn 1, lap 2.
Dang, you know, the funny thing is, I was just mentioning about Nicholas Noggle, and I didn't get to mention that he won the consolation race just a few minutes ago, but there you go. We've already got tough luck for the 08 being sent to the back of the field. So currently, Mike Alexander has led the only laps we completed so far. 2 of them, Danny Chisholm, the 87, in second, Matthew Barkhouse in third. And then after that, we're trying to square up the lineup here. Of course, Tim and Tony Stevens working in the tower virtually next door. And Brett Suggs, the lone American, in fourth.
All right, we're going to get this rack back up. Going to see where everybody lines up.
There are some beautiful paint schemes here, fellas. In fact, I was mentioning during the heat race, we've had some kind of throwback schemes. We've got Brad Eddy throwing it back to his dad's old ride, the #1 Ford Quality Care Mobile. We've seen the 35 honor to Brad Mann. We saw a Scott Kelly tribute. So it's really cool to see these old maritime racing schemes that we saw over the years back here in iRacing today.
All right, boys, so I believe we're about to go 1 to go, and we're about to get green flag racing here back at the USA International Speedway with Tim's Corner Motorsports, your leader, Mike Alexander. Next time around should be 1 to go for Mike. Then we're going to have Danny Chisholm in the 87, the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, Brett Suggs in the 3, and then the Keith McClellan ride in the 30, rounding out your top 5. And lights are off. We're going to double them up. We're going to try this one more time, Dylan.
We are, and again, caution laps do count here at USA International, so if this race is run under caution quite a bit, that's going to wear the laps down and give less for the drivers to actually race here, so hopefully it's not a caution-littered event as Mike Alexander in that 75, and want to give a shout-out to his Uncle Kirk. We were talking last time about designs here. Mike doing a lot of the iRacing designs for the drivers. Kirk does the real-life designs for the real cars, so I want to give a shout-out to him. He's watching this afternoon, watching his nephew race here, and his nephew gets a great start. We're back racing here at USA International.
Mike Alexander gets the whole shot on Danny Chisholm, but the battle is for third, the 15 and the 3. Brett Suggs, the lone American on the outside on the top shelf, trying to hold on. 34 gets loose, coming out the corner, and around goes the 34, collecting the 38 and more.
Oh, it's the huge one here at USA International. I don't know what car out of the top 3 didn't get hit there. Wow. So another caution out here. And we're going to have to bring Paul, you're going to have to put your fingers to use here and see what happened with the 34 of Rhino.
Man, he was able to collect quite a few cars, did Rhino. We saw him have a really strong heat race, did Mike Rhino. I believe he won his heat race. So
yep.
Not expecting to see that, but from my end, it looks like he just lost control of the car off of 2, as Paul's going to get us that footage, and then it's just calamity all the way back down the back stretch into turn 3. Man, oh man, after winning a heat race, that's not what you want to see if you are the 34.
Yeah, taking a look at it here, the car just gets loose, hits up onto the wall. We're actually looking at it from the blimp right now. Hard to see the numbers from way up here, but at least you can see the calamity all the way through. Drivers just dumping right into the wrecked cars in front of them. An unfortunate event for that, but man, it's early on. We've already had a couple of cautions early. got to remember there's an incident cap here, and I believe it's capped at 21 incidents here in the iRacing system.
25. Tim gave
25.
a little grace this afternoon.
A little bit of a grace period. So 25 is the incident cap. So you may see, as this 100-lapper gets closer and closer towards the end, there may very well be less and less and few drivers because they get the old proverbial boot as they hit that 25 incident cap.
Yeah, and that incident cap is being used by other leagues out there as well. It's a good idea to have that incident cap. It has its faults. It's a double-edged sword, I should say. It's good because it cleans it up, but it's bad for some of the racers because even if you don't cause the incidents in iRacing, let's say if someone hits the back of you, you still get those incident points. So that's the downside of it, where you have to almost demand respect from your other racers because you don't want someone else getting you disqualified from a race when you didn't cause a single incident.
And that's the thing with short track racing. And as you can see, the walls are pretty close here, the inside and outside wall. This is a track semi-similar to Petty International Raceway, a little longer. USA International is a 3/4 of a mile track, but same banking in the turns. So the drivers have more length to deal with, but the width still not very wide here. And that usually spells disaster if you got a few cars turned around the opposite way.
All right, going to get them racked up one more again, as they say down here in the South of America. Not South America, but the South of America. You get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. The South.
Yes. I'm not even in the dirty South. I'm in Florida, which is dirty, but not considered the dirty South. We're just a dirty Southern state. Anyways, 2 to go. Next time around, we'll be 1 to go.
Hey, I love Florida. I wish I could be at Disney World right now, or Daytona, or New Smyrna, one of those places.
Yeah, so, man, I'm actually a spectator racer at New Smyrna. I'm also a guest announcer every once in a while. Awesome track. We actually race on Wednesday nights. We have a league for New Smyrna Speedway. You can find on Vidane TV. Pre-race show starts at 7:30, qualifying at 8. New Smyrna Speedway is an awesome place to be, and we love calling their action as well.
Yeah, as you can see on the screen, we've got some of the special events here. So tomorrow night, another special TCM event, 7:45 Atlantic. So starting a little earlier, and it's going to be I think a 100-lap race at Myrtle Beach. Either way, the Super Late will be down in South Carolina for a little racing, which is going to be awesome. And we're about to get back racing here, Wes.
And the pace truck is down, and we are green, and Mike Alexander fires straight out of the hole. We are full throttle coming across the line at USA Speedway, and pause there for a second because a 3 of Brent Suggs dives low on the 15 of Barkhouse. They're battling side by side off of 2. That is your battle again for 3rd.
15 laps in once we come around this time.
Caution is out again. Caution is out again. Not exactly sure who that one was on, but we have the yellow flag one more time as the 85 of Kenny McKenzie was still trying to get his car back up and around. See if we can help Paul figure out exactly what happened. But it looks like the 85 of McKenzie, he was involved after checking up for an incident. Looks like it actually started further up with the 128 of Matt Odell and OMR in the 66 coming through 1 and 2 there. So Paul's going to get our replay up, and oof, definitely a big chain reaction there, possibly. 21 involved as well. Paul, what do you got for us?
Yeah, you saw the 85 try and check up back in the pack to avoid this wreck. You see the 128's outside, 56 down low, hits the apron, gets a little bit of a bump there from that red and white car, sends the 128 spinning like a top up into the outside road. 56 looks like he gathers it back up. 21 is able to get through with just a little bit of nose damage. You see the 99 barely scrapes by as well. But then you can see barely making it into the picture appears to be the 85 as he got, you saw as we brought the replay up, got a little bit of a shot there as he was trying to slow down. And, man, big hit there on the nose on the outside wall. So tough break for him. You see the 8's got some damage as well. So unfortunate for those guys. Just short track racing. There was a lot of guys getting wrecked across the racetrack and nowhere to go, especially when you've got somebody that's going to try and blow through the back of the race car. So tough break. You see the pace truck's going to go gather these guys back up and see what all we can do here. Maybe get some green flag racing going down at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a little bit of a tap there from Sean Pearson, the 21, to Owen Meyer in the 66. Owen's racing a paint scheme that his dad used to run. So a lot of tributes and a lot of throwbacks from the father and son duo of racers here in the Maritimes. Mike Alexander still holding down the lead with Danny Chisholm in second. In third, it's Matthew Barkhouse, and I believe Suggs as well, landing in fourth with Brad Eddy in that number 1 and 5th. So lots of Maritime and Atlantic Canadian, and of course North Carolina. North Carolinian? No,
Hey,
I can't
Dylan,
be right.
Can you explain to the American viewers that what Maritime is?
Yeah, I forget that sometimes we got some American viewers. So the Maritimes are a collective region of provinces, so basically like the states. We've got Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. Now here's another cog in the wheel to make things interesting. There's Atlantic Canada, which includes the Maritimes, but then we have Newfoundland and Labrador too, which you could also call the East Coast. Then you throw in Quebec, and then it just starts getting crazy there.
Is that where the Labrador Retriever came from?
I don't know, but they're cute dogs, aren't they?
Man, I guess that's kind of like the New England states in the United States.
You got it. Pretty much same deal. So it's kind of that nickname for that area. You got the Northeast, the Midwest, and exactly like that.
Now, does Maritime have a football team that the rest of the world hates, kind of like New England does?
No, but there are a lot of New England Cheatriots fans up here, though. But we'll see how well they don't do without Tom Brady.
Well, it's going to be fun to see the New England Buccaneers this football season if we're ever able to get that going.
Yeah. For the sports teams here in the Maritimes, it tends to go for the football. A lot of Patriots fans, a lot of Giants fans I find here too. And then for the NBA, Toronto Raptors. For baseball, it kind of seems to be a mix of Toronto Blue Jays and Red Sox fans. And then the NHL, it's a cluster. We've got Leaf fans, Pittsburgh Penguins, Colorado Avalanche, Montreal Canadiens, Boston Bruins, kind of a mix of everything here. And the green flag is back out. So that was a single file restart here at USA International for Mike Alexander as we are restarted here for this first Petty International Raceway
eSports. The 48 of Dave Lennis gets bumped by the 141 of Richard Drake. He just moves him out of the way, but we stay green. Great save by Lennis in the 48, but right at the start, turn 1, the 141 just wanted him and said, get out of my way. Not sure if there was a pass there. The 141's being a little impatient here only on lap 21, but our battle up front is actually starting to heat up. Mike Alexander in 75 actually has a mirror full of somebody for a change.
Yeah, it's Danny Chisholm in the black 87 starting to pounce a little bit on Mike Alexander. The top three are very familiar to staying in the top three positions for the special TCM event as we're in the beginning stages of this 100-lap race. Wes, what do you think? Tires, fuel, is that going to be a big factor by the end here?
Tires no matter what. Not too sure on fuel, but I know tires will no matter what. The 48, by the way, is a pinball in the back. Every car that gets next to them is hitting them right now. But tires will definitely be a factor. With the time of day it is, it's 3:47 game time, so this track temp, it's got to be pretty warm. And with a warm track temp, your tires are going to be pretty warm. So we have a track temp of 119. So yeah, 85 around. He saves it going into one. What a save by Kenzie. Kenny McKenzie saves it, but they were wrecking behind him, the 128 and the 93. Man, oh man, the 85 of McKenzie got clipped in the middle of that and able to save it. Nonetheless, the 128 and the 93 wrecking down the front stretch here, or 83 or 93, yep, wrecking down the front stretch here at USA Speedway, and just calamity corner all the way around this track right now. Paul, you got us a replay.
Taking a look at it right now, the 85 was down low, or up high rather, and he tried to get around the outside of the 93, but there was nowhere to be. So unfortunately sends that driver up into the wall, the 93, the 121, the 85's involved. Looks like the 34 may have gotten a little piece of the action. Doesn't look like that car is too damaged though, but take a look at the front of the 85 machine. Man, oh man, he's all crinkled up on both sides all the way around that race car. So that's going to be a tough break. Hopefully they can get that squared away down on pit road with the virtual hammers and see if they can get back out for a decent finish here.
Wow, that was like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift there for Kenny McKenzie, drifting into turn one. Fantastic save, but again, another caution out here and cars going down pit road. So we haven't had a long stretch of green flag racing here at USA International. If you're joining us on Vidane TV or Tim's Corner Motorsports, this is the very first Petty International Raceway eSports series. And for some fans maybe unfamiliar with what the heck is Petty Raceway, Petty International Raceways in Petty, Kodiak, New Brunswick, a short track here in the maritime region of Canada. Quarter mile, 14-degree bank turns. One of the top racetracks here in Atlantic, Canada. A lot of fun. Of course, the Oval Outlaw, Wayne Smith and his wife, Ellen, they own the track and run the show here. And it's great that they're hopping on this iRacing simulator for the racing for the meantime, as everything is up in the air with COVID-19. Want to give a tip of the hat, though, to New Brunswick. You guys over there have been doing a fantastic job flattening the curve and staying home. And I hear like every couple days here of no new cases. So that's a good thing. And as your province is starting to kind of open up here and allow more freedom during this time, it's great to see as we're all kind of going through this weird time in life.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you know what? It's one of those things. It's all across the globe here in the United States. I'm in New England myself, southern New England as it were, as I'm in Connecticut. And, man, we got a whole bunch of tens of thousands of cases. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but everybody's doing the best they can to try and do the social distancing and keep away from everybody else. And, you know, it's tough, but that's why we're here. Here at Vidane TV, we're here to entertain the masses, trying to bring you some kind of something to watch here on a Saturday afternoon. And I think we're doing an all right job. Let us know in the comments for those watching on Facebook, both on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane Racing, and also on YouTube. You can get the YouTube link right from the Facebook post. And one cool thing I actually learned myself for the first time last weekend, you can take that YouTube link and put it into or browse YouTube on your smart TV, and you can actually watch this broadcast in 1080p. And let me tell you something, brother, it looks fantastic.
That's awesome.
Not to toot my own horn, but you can still check out the chat there. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining us this afternoon. The lights are off on the pace car. We'll see what we got. Single file, double file. Looks like it's going to be a single file restart. Got about a quarter of the race in the bag. Restarting here on lap number 29. 100 laps on the board to complete. Wrapping them all down in the back stretch, heading on down into turn number 3. Mike Alexander, your current leader. He's going to be under attack by that 87 of Danny Chisholm.
Yeah, majority of this race so far has been raced under caution. So we'll try and get things fired up again. Tim has given the call for single file restarts. Mike Alexander in the 75. Danny Chisholm, 87 right behind. We're back green flag racing here at USA International.
A little bit of tire spin from that 87. Doesn't quite get the start that he wants, but it gives the advantage right over to Mike Alexander, and no surprise there. Up front, leading the race. Doing a great job over the past couple of weeks here for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Special Event Series, and especially here tonight for this afternoon rather, for this very first inaugural Petty International Raceway iRacing Series. A little bit of a blink there from Mike Alexander, but he jumps right back in where he left off. Number 2 spot right now is going to be the number 87 of Danny Chisholm, just kind of trying to follow in his tire tracks of Mike Alexander to see where he's stronger, where he's weaker, where he might be able to make up a little bit of real estate.
Yeah, Danny Chisholm sitting there in the 87. And as we come up here on lap number 30, so 70 laps remaining here at USA International, we've got the number 75, Mike Alexander from Nova Scotia. So a couple of Nova Scotians up in front here. In fact, 3 of them followed up by an American. That is Brett Suggs in the number 3, looking under now the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, putting a little pressure on the number 15. And then another Nova Scotian in 5th. That is Brad Eddy in the number 1.
15 under attack from the number 3. Brett Suggs wants that 3rd position. Doesn't quite have it yet. He's right there on his bumper. Taking a look, like you said, that number 1 machine. He's under attack from the number 30 Bud Light machine. Brad Eddy in the 1, Keith McClellan in the 30. And the 00 of Ricky A. He's right there with him.
Yeah, Ricky Arbo in that 00. A lot of damage on that 00, but that's okay. He's holding strong in the top 10. For some American fans watching, or maybe some Canadian fans watching, thinking, wow, what a great Dale Jarrett throwback on that number 1. In fact, That's not a Dale Jarrett throwback. It's similar as the 90s. A lot of race cars all over the world were kind of sharing different paint schemes with the GM or the Ford brands. It's actually a throwback to Dan Eddy's number 1. So that's his son, Brad. Brad doing some sportsman racing, some Legends cars racing last year at Scotia Speedworld. In fact, he won one of the events at Riverside last year, driving a renumbered 29 car, but still in his number 6. So it's good to see him running up front here, sitting right now in 5th.
Doing a great job holding on to that top 5 position. You can see the car is relatively clean. Get a great shot of the brake rotors there. Cherry red up front. Hard on the braking here at USA International Speedway. And you can see as he comes into the corners, he's hard on the brake right there. Dips the nose down into the pavement. Kind of scrapes it just a hair as he tries to get a late apex coming out of turn number 4, crossing the stripe. Lap number 36 in the books.
36 down, and there's the 42 of Williams at the top side of the track, one of the lap cars. He'll move out of the way of the number 1. As things haven't really changed up front quite yet. Whoa, the number 30 and Arbo coming up quick on the 42. 42 raced their way in as the consolation race kind of changed up a bit with the top 8 moving on to this 100-lap big show. We're back here with the leaders now. Mike Alexander in the 75. Kind of getting some distance from the number 87 here at USA International. Track very similar to Petty, but a little longer straightaways. Oh, Danny Chisholm was riding the wall a bit, slows him up. Now it's a big battle for second with Matthew Barkhouse and the lone American Brett Suggs here putting pressure on the number 87.
That 3 car of Suggs is there all over the back bumper of the number 15, pushing him around the racetrack almost. We're actually going to take a look, as he takes a look on the inside, we're going to jump in the cockpit here of the number 3, the lone American here in this race. You can see he's right there on the flat spot of the track, trying to get everything that he can. Outside, still outside. Not quite there. He's at your bumper. Still coming on through, listening to that spotter, and the spotter's going to be the one that lets him know when he's going to clear that car. Still side by side, coming on a 2, heading down the backstretch into turn number 3. Fantastic racing here for the 3rd and 4th position. 15 still up high, Suggs down low, and the number 3 car kind of opening up the door for that number 1 rider, Brad Eddy. He's coming, and he's got a great front row seat for this battle for 3rd.
Now, how cool is this with iRacing? We've got an American in Mooresville, Carolina, and a Nova Scotian in Dartmouth racing together here at a track, USA International, going for that 3rd position. There's Suggs underneath once again. I think he's going to be able to clear Barkhouse. He gets that position nearly, still side-by-side racing. Now he clears him. He grabs P3.
Clears him just as they... Oh, huge shot from the 15. Karma right around.
Oh, the 15 gets turned around.
Oh, the 3 saves it, and the 15 gets spun around from the driver behind him. He gathers it back up. No caution. Holy moly.
Brad Eddy had nowhere to go there as the 15 slammed into the 3, and just an unfortunate domino effect, and that will move the number 1 now up to that 4th position unless there's an end of the... Is there a caution currently?
There is no caution. We're still under green. I just want to take a quick look at the replay here and show you exactly what happened. And we'll take a look. The 15 bumps the 3, boop, gives him a bump, and the 1 was there, sends the 15 on around, down into the grass. A little bit of damage there on the left front of the 15 machine of Matthew Barkhouse. He's running 10th currently, so tough break. He gets in the back of the 3 corrects it, but then he gets a shot from the 1 that sends him on around. I'm going to bring this back up to you live racing here, as we are still under green. Looking at Matthew Barkhouse 15, seems like he's got everything straightened out. Still running in the top 10. Lost a lot of track position there. Jump back up here with the leader, Mike Alexander, in that number 75 ride. You can see there's the 93 car behind him. That's going to be a lap car, as Danny Chisholm now is probably 10, 12, maybe 15 car lengths back. Lost a little bit of ground there, and that P3 is going to go to that number 3, Brett Suggs, who is a little bit further back as well.
What a crazy turn of events there. In fact, now Brad Eddy is further behind the number 3, so still in 4th. Now, one thing I'm wondering there, Paul, with the 87, I'm wondering if he's conserving tires right now. We heard from Wes a little bit ago, tires will definitely need to be changed, whether it's 2 or all 4. Gas, not sure if it's going to be a huge problem as this is a smaller track, but with the tire fall off, is it smart to save here as we are approaching the halfway point?
Oh, absolutely. Even if these drivers do come down for tires, you got to figure if you can change 2 tires while everybody else changes 4, gives you a little bit of, you see, the 87 scrapes that wall there. Doesn't look like too much damage. Didn't slow him down too much, but a little bit of paint rub there on the outside wall. But the tires definitely, if you can change 2 later on because you save the right sides or the left sides, going to give you a little bit of an advantage coming off pit road. But That also kind of jacks up the tires themselves, so you're not able to really race as hard on the worn tires.
We are about 48 laps in here, 47, pardon me, so 47 in here at USA International for the very first Petty International Raceway eSports Series event. One of three. We've got more events coming up next Saturday afternoon and the afternoon after that. So we got some full weekends coming up here with some iRacing to keep you entertained while you're staying at home and staying safe. And so far, we've had Mike Alexander lead the entire thing with Danny Chisholm in second, trying to go underneath another young driver of Owen Marr.
Lap traffic starting to be a factor here as Mike Alexander sets a blistering pace. Great green flag run here at the USA International Speedway. Doing an awesome job. These drivers finally have everything sorted out, and they're able to really just get into a rhythm as these guys start to clip off some laps. Crossing the line halfway down, 50 in the books. 50 to go.
Paul, every time I leave this booth, I come back and it smells like old chips and burnt milk. Please.
How do you burn milk?
I can show you very easily. Watch me try to make mac and cheese.
Wes, you're joining back in. We're getting down with, now we cross into halfway, 50 down, 50 to go. Great green flag run here. Mike Alexander leading. Danny Chisholm is running second right now. And he's got about a 8/10 of a second lead over the second position. Brett Suggs, that lone American in the 3 car, he's still running third. Brad Addy fourth, and Ricky Arbo. I'll get it right eventually. He's going to be rounding out the top 5 in that 00 car.
We're not too good with last names here in America, but we sure love our racing.
Hey, it's all good. As long as you see the number in the first name, I think we're okay.
And we got viewers saying watching from New Brunswick. Good luck to all. Giselle Ledger. I'm going to let you say that one here, Dylan. It's Scoudouc. Scoudouc?
Oh, I have no idea where you're even looking right now. So
it's on the Vidane Facebook page. But
we'll go with your pronunciation.
Yeah, I'm not good at pronouncing things, but it is. I know NB. I know that's at least New Brunswick. So. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like our page. We're going to see a lot of action here, including the Vidane Racing Season B, brought to you by New Smyrna Speedway, which starts Wednesday night. And, of course, all the action here with Tim Corner Motorsports. But back up front is the one and only Mike Alexander, just putting on a clinic here this afternoon.
Yeah, this is a very long green flag stretch here, something we weren't seeing for the first quarter of this race, but after we got after that little hurdle, things have calmed down here with a few cars off the track. I'm sure those cap points, the incident cap points, are adding up for a few drivers, and they'll be shown the early way out as we have Mike Alexander. He has led every single lap. Your top 2 in qualifying, Mike Alexander, Danny Chisholm holding down the positions they earned earlier this afternoon.
That top 10 hasn't changed much so far in this 100-lap feature. These guys are running as hard as they can, and just looking at some of these paint schemes, you got some basic ones like Danny Chisholm. I'm seeing him in an all-black 87. That might be different if my Trading Paints isn't uploaded, which I'm sure it's not.
No, you're right. He runs a very similar Legends car, Bandolero car like that.
So I'm liking the one car. What I'm seeing is an old Dale Jarrett throwback.
Yeah. So I was explaining a bit earlier. That's actually a throwback to what his dad used to race back in the 90s. Here in the Maritimes, we'd have some drivers kind of adopt a Ford Quality Care or the GM Goodwrench kind of schemes that Dale Earnhardt ran. So it's cool seeing these back on the track here.
It is, and the 21 almost looks like he's running kind of a Wood Brothers type look with the red of the one and the gold lettering as well of Sean Pierce. So it's cool. It's cool seeing some of the looks on these cars. These guys take a lot of time putting these paints together on Trading Paints. Yeah, in fact,
our leader, Mike Alexander, actually left for a lot of the drivers to make their cars look good. And Mike's coming through a minefield of slower cars. There's Travis Roma in the 38. He'll move out of the way of your leader. They'll hopefully be respectful. And we have seen in some of the events we've done here, the lap cars sometimes aren't too eager to move out of the way of some of the lead cars.
Yeah, you got to remember the lap cars they have just as much right to the track as the rest of the field. It is usually a gentleman's agreement to heed way for the cars that are on the lead lap. But if you're on the lead lap in danger of going down a lap, you're that next car. You typically want to race as hard as you can to stay on the lead lap. So But as you see, Mike Alexander having to fight through 3 lap cars there, allowing Danny Chisholm to close in just a little bit, but not much, because now Danny has to put up with those 3 cars.
Yeah, we had Mike Alexander make quick work of the 38 to 48 of Dave Oblinas, as well as Kenny McKenzie Jr. And yeah, now Danny kind of has a wall of race cars in front that he's got to work around. That's something that your leader, Mike Alexander, wants to see. He wants to see Danny stuck behind all those other cars who are now a lap down.
Danny was hoping that he would be able to navigate through these cars a little easier than Alexander, but Chisholm is having to pick them off here one at a time. They're not exactly pulling over for him, but they're not running extremely hard either. But I'm sure he would like it to be a little bit easier to get around him as he finally gets around the 85 McKenzie. But now here goes, that opened up Brett Suggs in the 3. That's allowing him to close in that gap and possibly challenge for that second position before this one's through.
Yeah, Brett Suggs made quick work of those slower cars. So the lone American here this afternoon gets around Kenny McKenzie, Travis Roma, and Dave Oblinas. And now he is on the charge for second position. But he's also going to remember that lead car, now the 75, is starting to kind of get some distance from the 87 in himself.
And he's still running about a tenth and a half faster than these guys. So they're not exactly catching Mike Alexander either. And had a viewer say, you know, why didn't those lap cars just pull over? Well, looking back at those lap cars, all 3 of those guys were battling for position as well. And that is kind of the pain in the neck thing you run into when you are a lead lap car, catching lap cars. You're going to catch guys that are battling for their own position. So that would be why they didn't just pull over there, Dylan.
Well, and the thing, too, with this Petty Raceway deal, points are built up here. So the winner will get 100 points this afternoon. With the heat race winners, they got some bonus points. If Mike keeps it up with no damage on the car, he'll get some bonus points or having no incident cap points potentially. So it's all going to really matter. And yeah, that's why probably those slower cars weren't so eager to move out of the way as they had their own battle, because this is a 3-race series. At the end, we're going to give away some money, I believe, and a little bit of hardware, with the entry fees going to some of these drivers here at Petty for their actual race cars coming up for the 2020 season. But it's not just a simple fun race. There's a little bit of glory to be won and maybe some hardware too. So as we're kind of seeing, there's Nicholas Snoggle in the 08 along with the 47. Driving the 47 tonight, Cody Fink. I know there was a lot of Cody Fink fans on Tim's Facebook here saying, come on, Cody, put the hammer down, put the hammer down.
That battle up front, though, is starting to heat up. The 87 of Chisholm, his mirror is full of Brett Suggs for that second position. Chisholm has it. Brett Suggs wants it into 3 and 4. Suggs in his tire tracks as he gets a little loose coming out of 4, losing a little bit of ground. We are on to lap 69 as you look on board here with the 3 of Brett Suggs. He sends it in there pretty deep into 1 and 2. Coming off onto the backstretch, they hold pretty even. He's going to send it hard into 3 and 4. Can he make up any ground? Man, Dylan, it looks like he's driving in a lot harder than what the 87 is, which allowed the 87 to gap him a little bit on exit, but not this time. As Suggs looks low, the 87 gets sideways.
Yeah, I think Brett Suggs is now getting impatient. It moved from, yeah, can I try and get around you, to no, I am going to get around you. Little bit of a bumper play there, the chrome horn, as they say, to the 87. But Danny, sideways in turn 1 and 2, was able to hang on. But this is helping out Mike Alexander at the front, as second and third are slamming into each other now.
Now 2 lap cars in between this battle here for second. Let's see how they're able to navigate through them as Chisholm will lead the way. Looks like it may have calmed down for a moment. Both drivers, it's kind of like a mutual respect you have in the car. Look, let's get by these lap cars first, and then we'll get back at it. As Suggs, it's like he's working on a little bit of a loose condition compared to the 87 of Chisholm, but I've been in that position before. You're battling with somebody, and you say it without saying it. Let's get through these lap cars, and then let's go back at it.
29 laps to go coming up here at this 100-lap race. So the final quarter coming up here shortly. There hasn't been a lot of cautions after about lap 30. I got to wonder, how are those tires holding up, especially the right sides?
I can tell you the 3s aren't holding up well at all, as he is completely loose coming off the corners. I got a feeling that right rear probably doesn't have much grip to it the way that he's sliding around this racetrack here at USA. And for you viewers, thank you again for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on whatever platform you're watching. Vidane TV, Vidane Racing, TCM, whatever it may be. Make sure you subscribe the page and keep a lookout for more action, as you're going to see here each and every week from Vidane TV, as this battle still wages on in between Danny Chisholms and the 3-rider Brett Suggs.
There's the 35 there. That is John Kane. A lot of John Kane fans cheering them on tonight. As we're kind of checking on some of the other cars here, as Mike Alexander, he has got a 2-second lead over Danny Chisholm and Brett Suggs, so not much competition quite yet as we're coming down to the final stages here of this 100-lap race. There's Brad Eddy in the number 1, still sitting in the top 5 with Arbeau in the 00 throwing some pressure on, as well as we got a lot of single-file racing here, and I'm very curious to see how that battle for second is going to heat up, and what point will it reach? Will there be a spin? Will there be a slam?
I don't know, man. With the points being involved, do you really want to do that all for just second place? It's you're really risking a lot if you're Brett Suggs. And you go to wreck him for second, and you wreck yourself, and you don't even get third. I don't think the risk is worth the reward there. But hey, I'm calling from hindsight up in the booth. I'm not behind that wheel.
No, for sure, and that's the thing. Where's the strategy? What are they thinking about here? Now there's the 3 starting to throw it in on Danny Chisholm. He's kept about a half car length here for, gosh, what, 25 laps it seems, and only one real attempt from the 3 to go underneath the 87. Patience, I think the 3 has got it, but it's certainly got to be wearing on him.
Yeah, patience is a virtue here, Dylan, and I think the 3 is ready to go as the laps are clicking on down. We're about 22 to go this time around, and Chisholm seems to have the better controlling car right now. If we're looking at lap times, Chisholm ran a 22.198 to a 2.15 of Brett Suggs, but that difference really doesn't mean much when you're right on the bumper of somebody. As you see Suggs able to get a better exit off of 2 here. Let's see if he can follow that up in 4, as you see Chisholm drive it in really hard, just playing defense at this point, Dylan.
He is playing defense for sure, but he's got to have some offense as well, as they are more than 2 seconds behind your leader, Mike Alexander. So really the race is on for second place as we're on board with Brett Suggs from Mooresville, North Carolina, where NASCAR, a lot of the teams are set up there. So it's great to see an American racing with all these Atlanta Canadians tonight. Whoa, and in fact, he got a little squirrely going in turn 3, slid up the track. Let's see if he tries to get a crossover move on the 87.
That opened up the door for the 3 of Suggs. Looks slow coming down into 1. Can he make it stick? He slides up a little bit of respect shown there. The 87 game in the room. They're side by side, loose, coming out of 2 into 3, still side by side at his quarter panel, at his door, coming through 3 and 4 here, Dylan.
It's door handle to door handle racing at its finest. Let's see if Suggs can clear him. No, Chisholm is still fighting on the outside. This battle for second is heating up, and keep in mind, there are slower cars in front of second and third spot. There's a great run from Suggs. Can he clear the 87? Not quite yet. There's still door handle to door handle.
And up in front of them, they have 2 lap cars that are going to be battling it out as well. That's another one, but oh man, that's all it took, though. So little slip up by Danny Chisholm. That opens up the door for Brett Suggs in the 3.
With less than 20 laps to go, Suggs has got to find some extra horsepower or hope for a caution to get closer to Mike Alexander. There's Owen Marr in the 66 and also the 16 of Kent Livingston on the inside. So it's a lap car sandwich for second place, but now they let the 3 go around him.
Now that battle is basically over. Now you got about 16 laps, Brett Suggs. Brett, can you catch Mike Alexander? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, not without a caution.
No, I kind of agree with you there. Mike has had the fastest car by far this afternoon. It hasn't even been a competition really for first place since the early get-go. He's got to really try and find some extra horsepower, some extra grip in those tires if you can. But that's the thing, too. We haven't had any pit stops with the lead cars because we've had a long green flag stretch here.
Typically don't see, oh, we got one around. We got a wreck in the back. The 8 gets spun around of Evan Osborne. He's still trying to get it upright, and caution is out. Caution is out. This is a complete game changer as the 42 got checked up on the front stretch. The 8 plows through him. The 42 flips over. We have a whole new race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you can expect some pit stops for sure, and Paul's going to get this replay wound up here involving the 42 of Williams and the 8 of Osborne.
Yeah, loading up right now, taking a look at the old Vidane TV instant replay. We'll give it to you in slow motion. You see the 42 orange and blue car. He looks like he checks up just a little bit because of the 99, the 8 car just all up in him. 92 gets a little bit of the back bumper of the 8 car. And it's blocks out the racing groove, and it looks like just drivers just kind of plowed right on in. So tough break for those guys, but man, it changes up this race. We may see, are we going to see, well, you see the 42 getting sent up on his roof there. We're going to see Mike Alexander hold these guys off. Brett Suggs is up there in second position now. What do we got going on for the last 15 or so races, laps?
Going to be crazy for sure, and I'm curious, are any of the leaders going to make a pit stop here? In fact, I do see a lot of cars down there, so it looks like a majority of the leaders. There's Alexander, Danny Chisholm, Suggs, Barkhouse, Brad Eddy. Let's see. I think it's probably just going to be, well, I'm curious. What do you think, Wes? 2 or 4? No, maybe none. No, it's 4 tires, so there we are. And a few other cars only took 2. Oh, wow. Mike Alexander, a slower pit stop, so he threw on 4. A couple of cars only took 2 tires, as you saw. So this is really going to mix things up here in the latter part of this race at USA International. If you were having a little boredom spell in the middle of that race, throw that out the darn window because action is about to pick up here. In fact, I think there's a few cars that didn't pit, so now that's going to throw another wrench in the cog.
Yeah, I think Wes was just waiting for the pit stops to get through to let you know how many tires they changed when you ask him what you thought. But taking a quick look right now, the top 4 on the track did not pit. They've got 89, going to be 90 laps on that same set of tire. New leader right now, the 00, Ricky Arbo. I'm telling you, I'll get it. Richard Drake on the outside of him. He's going to be restarting in second. John Kane, we got some John Kane fans watching on Facebook. He's going to restart third. Greg Stewart going to restart here fourth. Looks like the first driver off of pit road was going to be Chris Wanacott. He's going to restart fifth. Cody Fink, saw some Cody Fink fans earlier in Facebook. He's going to restart sixth. Brett Suggs in the 3 and 7th. Nicholas Noggle up to 8th. And Brady Creamer going to restart 11th.
Listening to the driver's channel there, guys. Sorry. The Tim Terry making sure these guys are staying calm, clearing black flags, giving end of longest line penalties to the guys that were in the beginning of that accident. We have a whole different race. Got a couple cars you're going to see in front of our leader that's going to be getting the wave around. If I stand correct, is our leader now Ricky Arbo? Is that going to be our? Did Alexander take tires?
Alexander, all the top cars went down pit road. So we've got a few cars here that took the gamble saying, you know what, I'm hanging out in the back the entire way. There's only about 10 laps to go. Might as well risk it here and not pit to see if I can get track position.
I see that Mike Alexander is a guy that likes a thrill. And he probably said, you know what, I haven't seen a soul all damn race unless they were down a lap. Let me make this interesting on myself. And he has, as he will be restarting 8th. So when we go green, we're going to have 9 to go. He's going to have 9 laps to pick up 8 positions, Dylan. This is going to be interesting.
I don't think this is going to be the last caution we see with the 75, the 87 with fresh tires. I think they're going to chew through the top cars, but hey, I may be proven wrong here as we get ready to fire up here again. It has all come down to the last part of this race. Green flag back in the air for your leader, Ricky Arbo on the inside. He grabs the lead after not taking the pit stop.
Arbo spun the tires horribly there in the lead, bunching them all up. The 91 gets into the 35. They're 3-4 wide, come off the corner, all wrecking low. No, they are all, there goes Alexander. Alexander is in it. Oh, man, that's why you don't pit, Mikey. Oh, no.
Unbelievable. They're still wrecking on the backstretch.
There's intentional wrecking going all over the place right now. Intentional. The 91 is just wrecking the field right now. Somebody needs to take Chris Wanacott and take him out back because he just wrecked the 93 and another car looks like intentionally right under caution. Man, oh man, giving us great action to call though.
Actually,
you're not
all over
kidding.
The racetrack, taking a look, the 91 just gets into the front of his, the back of the car in front of him, sends him down. The 30's involved. You can see we're looking at it from the blimp right now. Pretty much hitting everybody that was there. Now you see the entire track gets clogged up. As something about Taco Bell. There's a joke in there somewhere. That black and yellow car gets by scot-free, but looks like everybody else on track got a piece of the action. And we're going to take a look. see what went down. You see the 91 car. Looks like originally gets through okay, but then he comes down, gives the 83 a little bit of a shot, and see what
Paul, I got Tim Terry here in the booth with us. Tim, we just saw a lot of action. Saw the 91 just going on a vigilante under caution, just spitting people out at will at what point. What's going on out here, Tim?
Now that you bring that up, I'm going to have to go look at that. I'm pretty sure the 08's probably not happy with us with the call on that one, but if you look back, the 91 might have given a shot to the 08 going down to the corner. You can hear them back there. They're not very happy on the radio, but it is what it is. You had 4 cars stay on old tires. Ricky Arbo spun the tires 3 wide. Unfortunately, it's a product of what we just had on our hands, so there's not much you can really do.
You think this is the last caution here, Mr. Terry?
What do you guys think?
I'll put you back in your room.
Have fun, boys.
Tim needs like 7 daiquiris after this race.
Oh, man. Had to get Tim Terry, the admin, the general here at Tim's Corner Motorsports, and have a little fun with him. Man, that was crazy to watch. Didn't mean to tell on Chris Wanacott, but we told on Chris Wanacott.
Well, it's the deal, you know. So one thing, guys, one driver that made it through all that, Danny Chisholm, and Danny's got fresh tires on that 87. You watch out, guys. I think he's going to chew through the top 4 here.
Another one was the 3. The 3 of Suggs made it through that without an incident.
Crazy.
So I believe I think Suggs took tires, correct?
Yeah.
So Suggs might be the first car.
87 did too. Danny Chisholm was on pit road. Yeah.
So we only have a couple cars up there that did pit, and then the rest did. Man, this is going to be crazy. This really is. There's going to be 2 cars that are in front of our leader, Ricky Arbo, and that's going to be Crawford and Rhino. They're going to get your wave around. But Arbo, he spun the tires last restart. Hopefully, he can hold on to him this time.
Yeah, and we've got also Richard Drake, 141. He's a 4-cylinder driver at Scotia Speed World champion in that class. You know, he's been kind of in the middle the entire time, and you might as well take the gamble here, along with Arbo and the 00. They've had their share of incidents. In fact, actually, the 141 looks pretty clean relatively. You might as well take the gamble here and see if you can hang on and maybe grab a win or maybe a podium.
All right, so lights are off. I'm ready for some action, man. I hate the saying caution breeds caution because it's so cliche, but man, is it the truth. Oh, man, I don't know what to expect here, guys. I want to see these guys be able to come through, but I want to see it done clean. As the green flag is out, the 99 of Greg Stewart, did not get a good restart, checking up the 75 of Alexander, and slamming it into the corner is Chisholm. In that 87 on his bumper is the 3. 2 cars with the freshest tires on the track. There goes the 3, look low on Chisholm. Can he get to him? They go flying down into the corner on the outside is Chisholm. He cannot do it. That allows the 3 of Suggs coming out of 4, trying to get the lead. Coming to 2 to go.
Ricky Arbo is hanging on for dear life in the 2 laps to go here. Arbo gets hit by Suggs. Danny Chisholm goes on the outside. Now Suggs goes on the inside. It's an Arbo sandwich here. Turn number 3, Danny Chisholm grabs the lead.
Danny Chisholm's going flying off into the sunset. That's what he wants to see. White flag, white rag in the air for Danny Chisholm's. But Brett Suggs is coming in a hurry. Can Brett get to the bumper of Chisholm's? And if he can, will he rattle it? Off of 2. It's a 2-car race for the win. Shooting down into 3. Suggs goes for it. Suggs gives him the shot. Can he follow up? He goes to low. He's all over the bumper. No! Chisholm's will win it.
Unbelievable. Danny Chisholm blocking on the end there. Danny Chisholm has won race number 1 for the Petty International Raceway eSports Series in spectacular fashion.
I can't breathe, Dylan. Cannot breathe.
What's your heart rate right now?
Man, my smartwatch says to be determined. It's just trying to figure it out, man. Wow, what a run.
Race fans from Nova Scotia, from Canning, Danny Chisholm has won race number 1 here at USA International Speedway for Petty International Raceway's eSports Series. Tuff's finishing in second. Scuggs finishing in second. But man, I think Brett threw on 4 tires. I think Danny also threw 4. But man, Suggs was coming in there some fast. But Danny, I think, may have applied the brake a little bit to slow him up, and that worked out great.
Man, what a race. That race, the entire race was dominated by one guy, and that was Mike Alexander. And one wrong move to make a late pit stop cost him the race. And I'm going to go on record saying he wins this race if he doesn't make that pit stop. I think he was fast enough to stay out front of those guys that did pit, and he would have never got caught up in that calamity. But tough break there for Mike Alexander, but reaping the benefits, Danny Chisholm in that 87. What a race, Dylan.
And look who finished third, Matthew Barkhouse. He was taken out early on, and he was well back, and now he's back in a podium position. And great run, as I mentioned, from Brett Suggs from Mooresville. So how cool is that? I'm not sure how old Brett is, but Danny's just like a young kid. Like, he's a teenager. And in fact, Danny Chisholm is in our chat now from Canning here in Nova Scotia. Danny Chisholm, can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, I got you guys. What's up?
Danny, how is your heart right now?
Oh man, it's absolutely racing. That was an insane finish. It was a really good race. I had a lot of fun, and it was.
It's crazy there how you were able to go around Arbo, but then you have the number 3 throwing pressure. I gotta ask, did you throw the brakes on a little early in turn 3 on the final lap?
No, I think I drove it in as what I usually been doing. I just didn't want to make sure I didn't overshoot the corner. It's been pretty easy here with this hot and slick track. I mean, I think he just tried to give it all he had, and I mean, I would have done the same. It was an all right move. I saved it, and we came home with it.
So what did you think with the cars not pitting? Did you figure, well, that's it, I'm not going to be able to get to the front again, or did you figure, well, with the fresh tires, it's going to be no competition?
Honestly, I mean, it felt like a Scotia Speed World race on a Friday night. You got to come from P15. I've had lots of practice doing it, and I thought, man, this is going to be my best shot, because I thought if it was heads up with Mike, I didn't know if I could be able to get him or not. But you know what? In that situation, I kind of had no idea. I just had to shoot my shot and give it a.
So, Danny, I got to ask, I don't know what grade you're in, but you got to be taking drama or something, because you built up a lot of drama at the end there. Is there anyone you want to thank helping you out today?
First of all, I just want to thank Petty International Raceway for putting this deal on. Wayne and Ellen, it's really nice of them for getting all these guys together and hosting a great show for all of us. And then I most importantly want to thank CHR, everybody who helps me out every single week getting to the racetrack there to go run those real life races. I mean, they do everything for me. Andrew Hicken at King Racing, Corey Hall, Craig McDonald, Brad Eddy gave me some tips there before this race to help me figure this place out, and it was an awesome race. Thank you, guys.
So I want to ask quickly, too, let's say COVID-19 gets wiped out soon. What's the plan for Danny Chisholm in 2020?
I don't know. I think the plan is we got the Bandolero still, so I think I'm still going to be showing up there every Friday night at Scotia, but it'd be nice to kind of get a little bit higher up in the levels and start doing some real serious legend car racing. That's my goal, honestly, for this next upcoming.
Cool stuff, Danny. Great win. Thanks for putting on a huge show for us and all the fans this afternoon.
Thank you.
Wes, I believe we have our second place finisher here.
American to American, Brett Suggs. Boy, oh boy. You barely missed out on the calamity with less than 10 to go, and a hard charge there for the gentleman in that 87 Chisholm. Walk us through your state of mind when you were watching the calamity begin with about 8 to go, working your way through that. First, walk us through that.
Yeah, if I would have said I closed my eyes, I probably would have sounded. But I was looking all around, and I saw they went 3 wide, and I was a little bit worried that I was going to get collected. Trying to find a lane through. I mean, the track was blocked. Luckily, we found some trees on the top to sneak by there. A little bit of left front damage.
Now, Brett, you and Chisholm put on a pretty good show for that second position before that caution came out with about 11 to go. It was a methodical move you put on him. You had to wait. Showed a lot of patience, able to get around him. And then on this start here, it seemed like that 00 of Arbo, he was just the rolling rolling cone, basically rolling barrel that's what got in the way of possibly being able to keep it side by side on the bottom with the 87 there.
Yeah, I was thinking on that restart, I was tired, but I didn't realize the 87 was right there in front of me, that he also put on that stop. So I was like, okay, I know he's going to be fast. I know you guys know on the But yeah, once we were 3 wide there, I was like, okay, this is my shot.
Brett, walk us through that. What was going through your mind when you went into 3 and 4 and you dove it in there and you took your shot? Was that kind of like, I'm just going to rattle this cage a little, or was it, I'm going to try to win this race at any cost?
I definitely wasn't going there to turn him. I was just trying to move him up the track, but he did an excellent job hanging on to it. I don't know how he did, but I was just trying to rattle this cage, maybe get a line under him, and just have a drag race.
Man, you definitely put on quite a show tonight, this afternoon for us. Who would you like to thank that possibly helped make this happen for you?
Yeah, I want to thank all my sponsors. I drive race cars in real life, so we got the custom Matco on the hood, Speed energy drink on the side. Also, my company, Brett Suggs Racing and Marketing, on the quarter panels. I have A&A Landscape Supplies on the trunk lid and Beaver Bail Bonds on the back bumper.
All right, Brett, you put on one heck of a show here this afternoon. We hope to see you again here soon.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. And that was Brett Suggs in number 3 for finishing a runner-up.
And finishing third this afternoon after a crazy ending, Matthew Barkhouse in the 15. Matt, do we got you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Matt, oh my goodness. We were loss of words up in the booth here for that finish. After you were taken out early on, you still land in the podium. How was the racing today at USA International?
Yeah, no, that was just hard racing at the beginning, and it kind of sucked that there was no caution when I got back around, and I was hoping for some more quick cautions. We went green for so long. I was just praying for one and happened to work out. But it was crazy how hot the track was. It was hard to race. Yeah,
so were the tires really falling off, especially towards the end?
Yeah, pretty much at the end, it felt like you had to come to a stop before you get back on the gas. It was just so hot on the track.
So what did you think at the end there? You kind of got back with the leaders. You've got 4 cars not pitting, and then it's just craziness after that, and then the final restart. What was going through your mind, and what were you seeing on your simulator?
It was definitely a sort of survival mode, knowing that none of those cars took tires and how bad they felt like a few laps before. You just kind of had to look down and hopefully get through the wreck because it was guaranteed to have one, and I happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
Compared to the other races, including the one you won, has this been one of the better ones?
I don't say it's better. It's pretty hot. I think if the track was a little bit colder, you would have seen a lot more racing going on than the single file. But when it comes to 5 flags and other stuff coming up, it's going to be a lot more fun.
So who do you got to thank for another top 3, and who do you want to give a shout out to?
Xander Signs, all the guys at Rev Racing. They're the guys that brought me on this years ago and helped me figure it out over the years. That's pretty much it.
Cool stuff, Matt. Great talk.
Thank you.
That's Matthew Barkhouse sliding into the 3rd position after, he mentioned he got tagged and got taken out by a little incident at the beginning of the race, but came back and finished in the top 3. So, I'm trying to catch my breath here and calm down, and we've actually got Tim Terry, General Manager Tim Terry. I gave you that nickname.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, Raw General Manager Tim Terry.
Can I be SmackDown instead? Actually, I feel like NXT. Let's throw that on there.
NXT.
A couple of notes after the race. There was a couple of drivers. I know when Wes pulled me up there in that last caution, there were a couple of drivers upset about the call on that last incident. Our rule states that the drivers involved in the initial contact to bring out the caution flag are the caution cars. Danny Chisholm was not anywhere involved in the initial contact on that last caution to bring out the caution flag. That's why he got to keep his position. I know there was a couple of drivers that were a little upset about that, but that's the way the rule is written. That's the way we've enforced the rule since we've started these special events, and that's what we carried over to here. So I know there's a couple of people that are upset about that. That's the explanation on that call. I'm the first probably to look at Danny with, if there's any contact with the 87 car. But that young fella did well tonight. So congratulations to him. Thanks to Brett Suggs for coming up and putting on a show. Matthew Barkhouse. I know he had some tough sledding at the start. We tried to get that race green, and he had that issue, but great to see him hop back up. Also, shout out to Richard Drake, the only driver in the field to have 0 incident points throughout the race. He'll get an extra 2 bonus points on the championship hunt. So that should put him within the hunt for a top 5 spot in points heading into race number 2. And Matthew kind of alluded to the temperature, and we looked at that after Martinsville, after we did the Atlantic Canadian Invitational with the track temperature rising. We'll talk with the folks at Petty International Raceway and see what they think. we might run it in a late afternoon to evening. But those guys were already testing USA after we had the issues at Martinsville. So we'll take a look at it. It's work in progress. We'll have practices with Five Flag Speedway likely beginning on Monday or Tuesday night for those guys to get some laps in. But congratulations to all those guys putting on a great show. A lot of green flag running in the middle of it. It seems like with these races, when you have 30 cars, 28 cars, there's a couple of cautions at the start, and then we get going racing. So congratulations to them. Thank you for Tony Stevens for helping us out on the race admin tonight. Brad Hockaday had to step out, so he couldn't make it this afternoon. But yeah, I'm out of breath, and I've got to go run a Pontiac Solstice in the mini stock race that TCM is putting on here in about 45 minutes or so, and then qualifying tonight. So if you're out there still listening to us, Tranquility 125 tomorrow here on Vidane Racing and on TCM. Qualifying is tonight, so if you want to be a part of that race, 8 p.m. East or 8 p.m. Atlantic, get in on the hosted sessions. It's under tournaments. Come in, drop 4 laps, and we'll see who makes it into the top 50 tomorrow. That was fun, guys. Thanks for sticking around, and for those fans that are out there, next week, same time, same place. Well, not same place. We're going to Five Flags, but same place to watch.
You got it, everybody. That was a lot of fun. Wes, what do you think about the racing towards the end there? Man, you were...
Wes is still out of breath. He actually had to go. He had to go for a quick little walk and grab himself a nice cool glass of water there. Holy moly, fantastic finish here at USA International Speedway. Great racing all afternoon long, all the way through the heat races to Consi and the 100-lap main event. Got 4 more races tomorrow afternoon. Man, oh man, we're busy here at Vidane TV. Noon, you're going to be able to check out the Carter's iRacing Series. Seeing it right now on your screen. Hudson Speedway iRacers, they race at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We're at we got a Tim's Corner special event here tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, 6:45 Eastern, 7:45 local, and the East Coast Winter League SK Modifieds at Stafford Speedway tomorrow night. So definitely a lot of racing, action-packed week coming up here. We've actually got a Vidane Racing Championship belt to hand off to a champion this evening. You're going to be able to check out our final race of the season this evening on Full Throttle TV. Check out our Facebook page to get a link to that stream, that broadcast, if you will. Thank you guys so much for coming out this afternoon. For Tim Terry, for Tony Stevens, myself, for Dylan, for Wes, thank you guys for coming out. We hope this broadcast made it to you in good health. But if it didn't, we hope you get well real soon. Things are real sketchy right now all across the globe, so we're just trying to entertain the masses and get through this stuff together. But thank you guys so much for coming out. We're going to see you next time. We're Vidane TV. We're going to do it live.